Chapter 96. I didn't hire you to dig into my personal affairs. Yes, I understand, boss. What I mean is, I have to know the reason before I can help you draw a conclusion. After all, I've been there before. I chased my wife for 3 years, dated her for 2 years, and finally got married after 5 years. My wife is a very emotional woman, so I'm very experienced in coaxing women, Assistant Yang said with a smile. Tell me, I'm listening. Send her flowers, 99 roses, to where she works. Vulgar, Qin Chu said coldly. Then buy her a gift, a luxury diamond ring or something. These girls love it so much that they can't put it down. She doesn't. Qin Chu knew Huamin too well. She didn't care about material things. Then pretend to send her a package, and then hide in the box to give her a surprise. Last time I scared my wife to tears. Before Assistant Yang could finish, he swallowed back his words. Because he noticed that the president's expression was getting worse and worse. You can leave first, I need some time alone. Qin Chu really suspected that this assistant wasn't here to help him, but to set him up. How did he get a wife with his IQ? It was an unsolved mystery. After Assistant Yang left, he suddenly thought of something. Was the president's girlfriend called Jing Jing? He just said that he wanted some time alone. However, he was right about one thing. His boss did miss someone, but that person wasn't called Jing Jing. Qin Chu picked up his phone a few times. He wanted to call her, but he felt that they were in a Cold War, so it wasn't appropriate. If he called, there wouldn't be anything to say. Suppressing the longing in his heart, he tapped his right hand on the table in frustration. He looked very depressed. Gao Ran's call came at the perfect time. Hey, how come I haven't heard from you since I helped you last time? Shouldn't you buy me a drink? Let's go. Now. Gao Ran was dumbfounded. Yes, it's now. I'll see you later at the old Sichuan restaurant in the south of the city. After that, Qin Chu put on a sapphire blue slim-fit suit jacket, opened the door and walked out with his phone. The female secretaries in the secretarial office were instantly infatuated. Boss, your outfit today is so cool, don't you think so? It's not the clothes that are too cool. It's our boss's good looks, so everything he wears is pleasing to the eye. Yeah, I don't have to talk to the boss every day. I'm satisfied just by looking at him a few times. I wonder what kind of woman could catch the boss eye. I'm so envious. In a Sichuan restaurant. In a private room on the second floor, Gao Ran and Qin Chu sat opposite each other. You don't seem to be in a good mood. Gao Ran spoke first. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He just poured 2 glasses of white wine and handed one to Gao Ran and the other to himself. Then, he lifted the cup and raised it. Gao Ran knew what he was thinking and downed it in one gulp. This wine is so strong. It doesn't matter if it's red wine or foreign wine. I think the white wine brewed from China's grain is the best. After 3 glasses, I feel like I'm on fire. It's so refreshing. You have a lot of free time recently? Qin Chu raised his head and glanced at him. Yeah, we criminal police only handle big cases. Those trivial matters are handled by the local police station. It has nothing to do with us. That's good too. I'm quite envious of you. You can have a job and live peacefully until you're old. I'm envious of you. Sitting on a big boss with a net worth of hundreds of billions. Do you have beautiful women throwing themselves at you every day? Ran, I'm married. Qin Chu's lips twitched into a deep smile. Fortunately, he had already swallowed the mouthful of white wine. Otherwise, Gao Ran would have spat it out. Chapter 97. Wait, what did you just say? Married. Stop fooling around, it's not April Fool's Day today. Gao Ran obviously didn't believe him. I'm not joking. But, your marriage is such a big deal, how come I didn't know about it? The media didn't report it either, it doesn't make sense. We only got our marriage certificate, we didn't have a wedding. Plus, she didn't want to announce our marriage to the public. With Huamin, right? Gao Ran asked tentatively after he came back to his senses. Qin Chu nodded. You're going to be stuck with this woman for the rest of your life. I really don't know what's so good about her. She was so arrogant when she was in school. Yeah, she hurt you so much back then. If it were me, I would have found someone better than her to get back at her. But in my eyes, there's no one better than her in this world. When Qin Chu said this, there was a hint of sadness in his eyes. Fine, 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 don't say such mushy things to me. But you're too hasty. Marriage is such a big deal, why didn't you think about it carefully? Gao Ran felt like the news that Qin Chu brought him was like a sudden clap of thunder. It was so explosive that he almost couldn't think straight. Marrying her was something that I decided on 7 years ago. There's no need to think about it anymore. Qin Chu's answer was extremely firm. But, Chu, people change. The Huamin from 7 years ago might not be the same person 7 years later. No matter how she changes, she's still Huamin. That's good. Gao Ran's eyes turned red when he heard what she said. He raised his wine glass and said, I'm a fucking man. If I were a woman, I would definitely shamelessly cling on to you. There are so few people in the world who are as loyal and rich as you right now. They're even rarer than national treasures. Qin Chu remained silent after hearing this. Gao Ran suddenly asked under the influence of alcohol, Bro, tell me the truth. What kind of bet did you make with your dad 7 years ago? I'm really curious. Qin Chu raised his head and slowly replied, 7 years ago, I told my dad that I wanted to marry Huamin. He said yes, but you have to go abroad and come back to take over the family business in GK. He also said that you're not allowed to come back for 7 years, and you're not allowed to contact anyone in the country, especially Huamin. Otherwise, it would be considered a breach of contract. If I did that, then 7 years later, if I came back unmarried and neither Huamin was married, he would agree to our marriage. Oh my God, so this is the reason why you left without saying a word? Gao Ran was surprised. Qin Chu looked out of the window and his eyes became deep and serene. 7 years ago, I was still young and did not have the qualifications to provide her with the best conditions. If we were blindly together, it would only lead to a tragedy. It would be better for me to bear the pain of this temporary separation for these 7 years in exchange for a lifetime with her. Gao Ran's eyes were filled with shock. Qin Chu, does she know what you're doing? She doesn't know. Oh my God, this woman, she doesn't know anything. You're really? Gao Ran didn't know what to say. He felt that Qin Chu's stubbornness was beyond normal. Chu, I think you're paranoid. I suggest you see a doctor, it's not good for you. Even if I'm paranoid, I'm only paranoid about her. I don't care about anything else. After staring at Qin Chu for a long time, Gao Ran said meaningfully, Huamin is really lucky. But I don't think she'll agree to marry you so easily, as far as I know. Gao Ran knew what kind of person Huamin was, and he also knew about the grudge between them 7 years ago. That's right, that's why I threatened her. When she needed my help, I brought up this condition. But, aren't you afraid that she'll hate you for doing this? Gao Ran looked at his buddy, his eyes full of sympathy. After hearing this, Qin Chu's eyes darkened slightly. Chapter 98. One day, she'll understand. After speaking, Qin Chu picked up the white wine glass in his hand and downed it in one gulp. Gao Ran originally wanted to drink with his good friend to relieve his worries, but he didn't expect to be even more worried. When they came out, Qin Chu was supporting Gao Ran. He seemed to be a little drunk. Chu, let me tell you, Huamin, that damned girl, has a twisted personality. If you like her, you'll suffer. But I'm so envious of you, to have someone like her appear in your life and occupy your entire life. You can love her to the core. Sigh, I'm so envious. Gao Ran said drunkenly. In the end, it was Qin Chu who drove Gao Ran back to the municipal bureau in his Maybach. Apparently he was on duty for the rest of the night. At the municipal bureau, a few police officers began gossiping. Hey, the guy who drove our boss back just now, he's obviously our boss's good friends. Yeah, he's really good looking. Even a man like me is jealous. Our boss doesn't have a girlfriend, is it because he likes men? I don't think so, but our boss is so masculine. If he were gay, he'd probably be the dominant one. Have you guys been too idle lately? All of you, go out on missions. Gao Ran appeared at the door with his head in his hands. He wanted to drink some water, but he didn't want to hear his subordinates talking about their boss like that. Huh, boss, we're just joking. But speaking of which, your friend's car is really cool. He must be from a rich family, right? More than that, he's so rich that you won't be able to spend it all in your lifetime. Gao Ran took a sip of water and replied. Boss, does your friend have a girlfriend? My third sister is 27 this year and she graduated with a master's degree. Before the police officer could finish, Gao Ran flicked his head. Hey, old song, didn't you say last time that you wanted to keep your third sister for Captain Gao? Another police officer interrupted. Gao Ran felt like his head was about to explode. Huamin had been busy in the hospital for the whole day. From time to time, he would take out his phone to check the time. Today, his phone was exceptionally quiet. There was not a single phone call. It seemed that she had spoken too harshly last night. Perhaps he was angry too? Huamin thought. Then she got up and went to the lounge to get some water. Unexpectedly, she bumped into Ning Ziyuan as soon as she stepped out of the door. Mian. Ning Ziyuan's face was slightly red and reeked of alcohol. Is something the matter? I came specially to look for you. He stepped forward. Huamin instinctively took 2 steps back to put some distance between them. What is it? Speak. Are you still unwilling to forgive me? Ziyuan, we've already talked about this topic. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Huamin looked at him calmly. Mian, but I can't let you go. I feel like I still can't forget you. Ning Ziyuan's eyes were red, as if he was about to cry. Ziyun, we're not kids anymore. Don't be like this. I know I was wrong. Mian, I'm sorry. Please give me another chance. This is the last chance, okay? Let's not talk about the past. Let's stick to our original plan and get married, okay? I'll pay you back the down payment for the house. You don't have to pay for the mortgage in the future. Also, I'll let you drive my car and transfer it to your name, okay? That's not the point. Ziyun, we can't go back. Some things have already happened and I can't pretend that I didn't know. It's like you stabbed someone. Although the wound has healed, the scar is still there. Do you understand? I don't understand. I miss you. I don't want to be separated from you. After speaking, Ning Ziyuan drunkenly pounced on Huamin. He slammed Huamin onto the table behind him. Ning Ziyuan, what are you doing? Let go of me. Huamin struggled with all his might. However, no matter what Huamin said, Ning Ziyuan ignored him and kissed Huamin's slightly red lips. Chapter 99. At this critical moment, Huamin grabbed a ceramic pen holder from the table behind her and threw it at Ning Ziyuan's head. With a clang, Ning Ziyuan abruptly stopped what he was doing. He was completely stunned. Huamin took advantage of his shock to escape from his demonic grasp and dodged to the side. Ming, how dare you hit me? Ning Ziyuan sneered, his eyes filled with anger. This is all thanks to you, Ziyun. There is no deep love between us, so there is no hatred. You've been so kind to me these past few years, and I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything? Huamin, I've been chasing you for the past few days. I've bought you a lot of things and cared about you a lot, haven't I? Do you still have a conscience when you say that? Have you been eaten by a dog? You heartless woman. Ning Ziyuan covered his slightly swollen forehead with a sinister smile. Huamian was calm the entire time. She looked at Ning Ziyuan with a complicated expression, but there was also some sympathy in her eyes. Yeah, you really bought a lot of things for me these few days. But all those things added together shouldn't be more than 30,000 yuan, right? And I used the 60,000 yuan I saved to buy a house for you as the down payment. The house was also written in your name. Now I don't want that money anymore. Isn't this even? In the end, who owes who? Even if you don't owe me money, what about love? Was that something that could be measured with money? Can you pay me back for all the love I've given you over the past few years? Ning Ziyuan roared. Huamin only smiled faintly at his words. Yin, we've known each other for so long, you should know that I'm not a calculative person. But since we're talking about this today, I might as well get straight to the point. These past few days, honestly speaking, you've been very good to me, but I've also been very good to you. I've been visiting your parents a lot, and when your relatives came to the hospital for treatment, not only did I have to use my connections to arrange a room for them, but I also had to work part-time as a caregiver. This is all because of you. Most importantly, Ningxi, let me ask you, if it weren't for me, would you be where you are today? Would you be standing here as a doctor at the first hospital, Safe and sound? What do you mean by that? Ning Ziyuan was obviously a little guilty. What I mean is, you wouldn't have been able to graduate from medical school with your grades. I wrote your graduation thesis for you, and because of your excellent ophthalmology thesis, the first hospital's ophthalmology professor made an exception and promoted you. Plus, you've been working for so long, and I've been writing every academic document for you. Is that not enough? Tell me, what do I owe you now? After Ning Ziyuan heard this, he was speechless. If Huamin didn't remind him, he would have thought that he was an excellent ophthalmologist. However, Huamin did all of this for him. Back then, his grades in medical school were very average. Even when he was nearing graduation, due to the pressure, he often skipped classes to play online games with his roommates. In the end, he almost couldn't graduate. Even the most important graduation thesis was written by Huamin himself. It was because of that excellent thesis that he had the opportunity to enter the first hospital. After that, every time the hospital tested him, Huamin would prepare for him. He enjoyed the fruits of his labor and accepted the title of a genius doctor with a clear conscience. But was he a genius? Of course not. There was someone else who was a genius. It was just that no one knew about it. Then what do you want? Do you want to report me to the hospital? No one will believe you. After all, there's no evidence, Ning Ziyuan said proudly. Huamin's eyes were filled with disappointment when she heard this. She didn't know that a former lover could be so despicable after falling out. Evidence? Of course I have it. You have it? I don't believe you. You trusted me so much back then. You wouldn't have left any evidence. Although Ning Ziyuan said this, he was still a little flustered. Chapter 100. See, even you know how much I trusted you back then, so why are you still feeling guilty? What are you afraid of? Tell on you? I don't have the time, nor do I need to. After all, it won't do me any good. I just want to say, Ziyuan, even though we've broken up, we're not enemies. After all, we were once together, and we won't be friends because we hurt each other. I admit that Qin Chu's unexpected intervention broke our relationship, but what you did after that really disappointed me. So, we won't cross paths again, and you don't need to have any more fantasies. I believe that with your current fame and status, you have plenty of good girls. You don't need me, Huamin, right? Of course, Ning Ziyuan immediately replied. Very well, I won't pursue what happened today, but this won't happen again. Please leave now and turn left. I won't see you out, Huamin sternly ordered him to leave. Ning Ziyuan covered his injured forehead, turned around and walked to the door dejectedly. Suddenly, he turned around and looked at Huamin. Huamin immediately became alert. Huamin, now that things have come to this, I want to ask you something from the bottom of my heart. I've never loved anyone, Huamin coldly said. Okay, I understand. Ning Ziyuan bitterly smiled, turned around and left. Huamin finally let out a sigh of relief. She didn't think that Ning Ziyuan would suddenly come and cause such a scene. Luckily, there was no one else in the consultation room, or else it would have been so embarrassing. Not long after, the little nurse, Huang Yu, walked in. When she saw the pen holder on the floor, she exclaimed, "Oh my God, what happened? My poor pen holder. I'm sorry, I accidentally broke something just now. I'll buy you a new one." Huang Yu pouted, looking wronged. And a meal of Kentucky Fried Chicken, Huamin immediately added, knowing the nature of the young nurse. Okay, deal. Huang Yu immediately smiled. Speaking of which, senior sister, you've been very generous recently. You can even treat me to KFC. Tell me, did you get rich? If I were rich, I would have resigned long ago. Then, are you hooking up with a rich man? Huang Yu asked mysteriously. Huamin thought for a while. Was Qin Chu a tycoon? That shouldn't be the case. He's already considered a billionaire, right? Therefore, he shook his head. I don't have a sugar daddy. Oh, then I understand. Your brother's case is over. The perpetrator must have paid a lot of money, right? Huang Yu giggled. Yes, that's right. Huamin was really afraid that this girl would ask more questions, so he just nodded vaguely. However, the truth was, she didn't get a single cent from Zhixin's case. The other victims all received money. She originally wanted to sue the court and get hospitalization fees. However, she didn't expect that in the end, because of Qin Chu's intervention, that brat and his family were all in trouble. They were already in jail. What compensation could they get? In short, this time, Jixin was fine. That was the biggest relief. Oh right, it's lunchtime. Let's go to the cafeteria. If we're late, there won't be any good food. Before Huamin could say anything, Huang Yu pulled Huamin and hurriedly walked towards the cafeteria. The hospital's cafeteria was located on the second basement floor. It was only open to the hospital's medical staff. However, most doctors didn't eat here. Because of their high salaries, they ordered takeout with their own money. Interns like Huamin and Huang Yu, on the other hand, didn't get paid much and didn't get many subsidies. That was why they ate here. It was lunchtime. There were a lot of people, but the environment was very good. Huang Yu and Huamin found a corner facing each other. Just as they were about to sit down, they heard a female voice shout very impolitely, "Huamin, you bitch, come out." Chapter 101. Senior Hua, I think someone's calling for you. I heard it too, Huamin said quietly. Huamin, where are you? Come out. The hysterical female voice came from a woman who was also wearing a white lab coat. Her long hair was wavy and she was quite pretty. She was wearing flirtatious makeup and looked extremely upset. Senior Hua over there. Isn't that the nurse from the ophthalmology department? Huang Yu pointed at the door. Huamin turned around. When he saw He-Man, his expression remained calm. At this moment, He-Man seemed to have noticed Huamin as well. She walked directly towards him with a menacing look on her face. Senior Hua, I don't think anything good is going to happen. You should be careful, Huang Yu reminded her quietly. Huamin nodded but didn't say anything. Huamin, get up. Do you need something? Of course I do. Do you think I'm here to have a heart-to-heart talk with you? Sorry, I don't have time for a heart-to-heart talk. I don't know you that well. Huamin sat down and continued eating, ignoring He-Man. He-Man was furious. She pointed at Huamin and yelled, Stop pretending. Tell me, are you bothering my Ziyuan again? Your Ziyuan? When did this happen? He-Man was slightly stunned. Then she said, Don't pretend you don't know. Ning Ziyuan and I have been together for a long time. Didn't you already know that? Huamin nodded slightly. Then he replied thoughtfully, Oh, so you were the one who was having sex with him in his bedroom last weekend? What? Last weekend? He-Man's expression was a little ugly. It wasn't you? Could it be? Huamin continued to ask. Of course, it was me. He-Man's words were a little forced. Anyone could tell. Since you knew that we were together, why did you go looking for him? Didn't you guys break up? Yes, I went to ask him for the down payment of 60,000 yuan. We planned to get married, so I also paid for the house. Really? I've never heard Ziyuan mention it, He-Man said arrogantly. Really? That's a pity. It seems that you haven't progressed to the stage of building a house yet. You? Don't try to twist words and force logic. He-Man was at a loss for words. Originally, she had come here arrogantly to denounce Huamin, but she didn't expect that the usually gentle Huamin would be so eloquent. Every word he said made sense. She didn't know what to say. Let me ask you, did you injure Ziyuan's head? Yeah. What right do you have? Is my Ziyuan someone a woman like you can lay your hands on? You're just an ex-girlfriend who was dumped. What right do you have to ask about Ziyuan? I knew it. You must have been trying to pester him, but he didn't want to get back together. That's why you hit him, right? Huamin's eyes turned cold. She slowly raised her head and asked, Is that what Ning Ziyuan told you? Ziyuan didn't say, but that's what I guessed. Everyone in the hospital knows what kind of person you are. Senior, you're a good person. Everyone in the OBGYN department knows that, Huang Yu interjected. This is none of your business. Shut up, He-Man pointed at Huang Yu and scolded her fiercely. Are you done with your nonsense? If you're done, then leave. We're still eating. I don't want to lose my appetite because of this, Huamin ordered her to leave. She didn't want to continue with He-Man's unreasonable pestering. Huamin felt like a clown because everyone was looking at her. This wasn't in line with Huamin's usual low-key personality. What are you eating? I'll let you eat, you bitch. After speaking, He-Man flipped Huamin's plate in front of everyone. Rice and vegetable soup spilled all over the floor. Some even sprayed onto Huamin's white lab coat. Everyone was dumbfounded. No one expected He-Man to do something so extreme. Chapter 102. After a moment of silence, Huamin asked word by word, "Didn't anyone tell you that wasting food is shameful?" So? He-Man looked at Huamin provocatively. "So, whoever wastes food should finish it," Huamin said as he picked up Huang Yu's plate, covered it with He-Man's white coat, and threw it at her. In an instant, rice and vegetable soup were all over He-Man's body. "Oh my, senior sister, you're so awesome." Huang Yu quietly stood up and gave her a thumbs up. "Huamin, how dare you treat me like this?" He-Man was a little dumbfounded. "I'm not your mother. Why would I spoil you?" Huamin didn't think much of it. "I'm going to beat you to death, you bitch." He-Man swung her hand with all her strength. However, her hand stopped 5 centimeters away from Huamin. Huamin quickly reached out and grabbed her wrist with all his strength. "If you want to be a monkey, go to the plaza in the city center. This is a hospital, please pay attention to your image." After he spoke, Huamin shoved He-Man away, grabbed Huang Yu's hand, and left. At that moment, He-Man was terrified. She didn't even dare to chase after them because her wrist was red from Huamin's grip. That woman looked thin and weak, but she was terrifyingly strong. "Oh my God, what's going on? Isn't that woman a nurse from the ophthalmology department?" "Yeah, I heard that she hooked up with an intern from the ophthalmology department. That doctor is pretty handsome, but he said that he has a girlfriend and that she's a nurse from the OB/GYN department. Isn't that the mistress and the first wife fighting?" The other nurses all whispered amongst themselves. He-Man also felt embarrassed, so she left the cafeteria with a dark face. "Ophthalmology department, Yuan, are you okay?" He-Man asked worriedly as she looked at Ning Yuan's slightly red forehead. "Let me ask you, who told you to look for Huamin? I'm just standing up for you. Who asked you to take care of the injustice for me? Why are you causing trouble for me?" Ning Yuan was quite angry when he heard about the restaurant. "Huamin, what right does she have to treat you like that? That's between me and her. Don't go looking for Huamin in the future. Otherwise, you'll disappear from my sight immediately." After glaring at He-Man, Ning Yuan got up and left. He-Man didn't feel good about it. At the same time, she had a question that she didn't understand. Since Ning Yuan and Huamin had already broken up, who was the woman that Huamin saw at Ning Yuan's house last weekend? Of course, it wasn't her. She had been on duty for an entire day and night last weekend. She hadn't even been to Ning Yuan's house. Could it be that Huamin was lying? To ruin her relationship with Yuan? But it didn't seem like a lie. The restaurant dispute was originally a small matter. However, someone recorded a short video of it and spread it to every department in the first hospital. The seemingly gentle intern nurse, Huamin, became famous because of it. She was given the title of Hot Little Nurse. Male doctors and male assistants, and even male colleagues from the office, came to see this young nurse with their own eyes. Some of the bolder ones even courted her and sent her flowers. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Looking at the table full of chocolates and flowers, Huamin was speechless. "Senior, what should we do? You're famous now. Where's the hot little nurse?" "I'm not. I'm more like a tomboy." Huamin was speechless. "So, is there anyone that you like among these people?" "I think the deputy director of the radiology department is pretty good. He's 30 years old, 178 meters tall, drives a BMW, and apparently comes from a good family. He looks like the Korean actor Song Sung-sien. Are you sure you don't want to consider him?" Wang Yu looked envious. Chapter 103. No need for that, he's not my type. "Senior sister, you have such high standards. Tell me, what type do you like? I can introduce you to someone suitable." You don't even have a boyfriend." Huamin looked helpless. "That's because I'm picky." "All right, if you don't like him, can you give me the contact of that male radiologist?" Sure." After speaking, Huamin pushed all the fresh flowers to Huang Yu. They're all here. You can pick whichever one you like. Thank you, senior sister. Huang Yu's face was filled with excitement. Just then, the door to the consultation room opened and the head nurse walked in with a stern face. Huamin, come with me. Yes. Oh no, oh no. Looks like even the old witch knows about this. You have to be careful. Huang Yu looked at her sympathetically. Huamin also felt her scalp go numb. She didn't think that her fight with He-Man in the staff cafeteria would cause such a huge commotion. It looked like the head nurse already knew about it. The head nurse hated this kind of gossip, especially when there was a personal problem at work. It looked like she was going to be scolded. In the corridor around the corner of the stairs, the head nurse called Huamin to the side. Do you know why I'm looking for you? The head nurse had a stern look on her face. Huamin nodded guiltily. Since you know, then I'll get straight to the point. I heard that you broke up with that ophthalmologist, right? Yes. So the person you scolded that day in the cafeteria was the third party? The head nurse questioned. I wasn't scolding you, head nurse. He-Man provoked me first. I was just eating quietly, really. Not bad, well done. The head nurse patted Huamin's shoulder and smiled. Huamin froze on the spot. What was going on? You embarrassed the OB/GYN department. Well done. Let them know that the OB/GYN department is not to be trifled with. He's not a pushover who can be bullied by you. Yes. Huamin sweated. There's one more thing I want to tell you. Go ahead, head nurse, Huamin said respectfully, as if he could do whatever she wanted with him. Aren't you single now? I happen to have a distant cousin who works in this city. He's a very nice person and he's about the same age as you. Most importantly, he's also in the medical field. He's a forensic doctor. I think you two are quite suitable, so I plan to let you two meet next week. Head nurse, are you trying to introduce a boyfriend to me? Yes, the young nurses in our hospital are too unreliable. You're about the same age, but you're steady and low-key, so I think you're the most suitable for my cousin. Don't worry about his family background. He has a house and a car, and his parents are doing business in the South. After marriage, you'll live alone. But, head nurse, I already have a boyfriend that someone introduced to me. So soon? The head nurse was clearly surprised. Huamin didn't dare to tell her that he was married. He didn't want to scare the head nurse, so he lied and said that someone introduced him. Yes, that's why I can't eat from the bowl and look at the pot. Thank you for your kindness. It's okay. You're single now, so you need to be trained and selected. That's settled. I'll arrange a time for you two to meet next week. Okay, I'm going back to work. Hey, head nurse. No matter how much Huamin shouted, the head nurse wouldn't listen. But the problem was he was already married. Was it really okay for him to go on a blind date? If a certain someone found out, would he strangle him to death? The Cold War lasted for a day and a night, but neither of them called or texted. It felt weird. Seeing that his phone was silent, Huamin felt slightly disappointed. It seemed like he wasn't that important to Xianxia after all. With these lonely thoughts, Huamin got off work, packed up, and went home. Because she worked overtime until 10 at night, it was already very late when she got home. When she was downstairs, she purposely looked up and saw that the 16th floor was dark. It seemed like Xianxia hadn't come home yet. After she got upstairs, she gently took out her keys and opened the door. Then she walked in. Before she could steady herself, she was violently pushed against the wall. Then, someone bit down on her lips. At that moment, she was so scared that she almost stopped breathing. Chapter 104. If she wasn't so familiar with Xianxia's scent, she really would have used force. Xianxia, let go of me. She was a little nervous. Xianxia didn't say anything. He just hugged Huamin tightly and leaned his head against her ear. His heavy breathing made Huamin's heart itch unbearably. A strong smell of alcohol filled the air. Huamin frowned slightly. Did you drink? She asked. Xianxia still didn't say anything. After he finished drinking with Gao Ran and returned home, he took out his precious Chateau Lafite from the wine cabinet and drank an entire bottle by himself. He missed Huamin even more. For the past 7 years, he had endured it all by himself, but now, with Huamin by his side, he couldn't even last 24 hours. That's why people say that the scariest thing is habit. Because he was already used to having her by his side, he couldn't stand being alone for even a moment. Chu, let go of me first. You're drunk. Min couldn't move as he hugged her so tightly. Oh. After a while, Chu stubbornly said 2 words. Chu, what do you want? What do you think I want? Chu pinched Min's chin with one hand and stared at the side of her face. In an instant, a flirtatious atmosphere filled the entire room. Min pursed her lips. She didn't know how to answer. Chu looked at Min, who was so close to him, and couldn't suppress the impulse in his heart. His other hand moved restlessly up and down her back. Did he know what he wanted? And she knew what he wanted? Chu, don't be like this. I'm not ready yet. After speaking, Min violently pushed him away. Chu's body swayed and fell on the sofa behind him. I'm sorry. Min turned his head away, not looking into his eyes. Why are you apologizing? Chu looked at her and asked word by word. She didn't know how to answer. I should be the one apologizing. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done those things behind your back. I just didn't want you to get hurt. Chu leaned on the sofa and said with his head tilted. No, you didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know what was good for me. You did it for my own good, and I shouldn't have been so pretentious. If you didn't help me, Jixin's surgery wouldn't have gone so smoothly. He wouldn't have paid all the surgery fees, and the culprit wouldn't have been punished. Chu, you're really good to me. In fact, Min had already figured this out. She felt that no matter what Chu did, his intentions were always good. She was the one who didn't know what was good for her. You really think so? Chu was a little surprised. Min nodded, then, Min hesitated for a moment before continuing. I know that we're legally married, and some things are bound to happen. I'm not pretending to be noble, and I'm not rejecting you. It's just that I'm really not ready. Please don't make things difficult for me, okay? So, you think this is something that's difficult for you? When Chu said this, a hint of loneliness flashed across his eyes. Min didn't say anything. She just bit her lip. Okay, I won't make things difficult for you. It's late, you should go to bed early. Good night. After speaking, Chu turned around and went upstairs. Min knew that she disappointed Chu again. A sleepless night. The next day, Min woke up early to prepare breakfast. When Chu came downstairs, he saw the piping hot Chinese breakfast on the table. There were fried eggs, soy milk, and golden potato pancakes. Let's eat, Min said with a smile. At this moment, Min was wearing a pink apron, and her hair was slightly messy. She looked completely like a housewife. Chu was mad at her. He originally wanted to say that he didn't want to eat, but when he saw how down-to-earth Min was, he couldn't say no. This warm scene was something that he had always dreamed of. Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he sat down at the breakfast table, picked up the soy milk, and took a sip. I bought these beans at the supermarket. When I squeezed them out, the color was quite thick. I don't know if they're good or not. How is it? Does it taste good? Min asked carefully. Chapter 105. It's not bad. Chu nodded. That's good, you should eat more. Min let out a sigh of relief and smiled. Then, the two of them ate breakfast face to face. Chu didn't say a word, but he would occasionally raise his head to look at Min. Min, on the other hand, ate with great appetite. He had been eating Western breakfast for a long time. It was rare for him to eat Chinese food that he made himself, and it was delicious. No matter how angry he was at her, as long as he saw her sitting quietly next to him, he would be happy. Chu felt like all of this was a gift from the heavens. He had been looking forward to this day for 7 years. Now that everything had come true, he should be happy. How's your brother recovering? I heard he was discharged from the hospital, Chu suddenly asked. He's recovering very well. I told him to stay at home for a while, since there aren't any more classes at school. That's good. Chu nodded. After breakfast, the two of them left the house together. Chu had been driving a Maybach lately, so Min had been taking the bus to work for the past few days. I'll give you a ride, if you don't mind the car. Min looked at the car and felt a little awkward. I can park the car somewhere further away. Xianxia added. Huamin nodded, thinking that what he said made sense. On the way, Xianxia turned on the music in the car. It was a classic English song called Hotel California. Because the melody was so good, and it was one of Huamin's favorite songs, she subconsciously sang along. Onadark deser thigh colwyn din meher warms ma lof colatastra sing up thrut, hiera paheden the distances a washimering light mehedgru. Succolo veli facither splentio formathi Hotel Californiani timeo fire can find to share, it's very nice, Xianxia suddenly said. Huamin came back to his senses and lowered his head in embarrassment. You sing very well, Xianxia said again. Thank you. California is a very beautiful place. There is an endless sea, a blue sky, fresh air, and a slow pace of life. Xianxia had stayed in America for 7 years and had basically traveled to every corner of America. Yes, I've seen it on TV. It's really beautiful. I'll take you on a vacation when I have time, Xianxia suddenly said. Sure. Huamin smiled. Although she didn't know when this would happen, since Xianxia said it, she didn't want to be disappointed. Do you have a driver's license? Huamin nodded. When she graduated from university, a driving school held an event at their university. It was half price, so she and Ning Ziyuan both took the test. Then I'll let you drive the CC. It's more convenient for you to have a car. Don't take the bus back and forth. It's a waste of time. No, we don't live far from the hospital. Plus, the hospital is tight on parking. A nurse like me doesn't have a dedicated parking space. I don't want to trouble you. Huamin smiled. Why don't you quit your job? Do you want me to be a stay-at-home housewife? Huamin looked at Xianxia, amused. No, I know you can't sit around, so I won't let you stay at home. You can come to GK and help me. Choose a department that you like. If you still want to work in medicine, I can set up a health department that specializes in giving GK employees medical checkups. I can even hire a doctor for you. Or, I can even open a private hospital for you. Xianxia was willing to do anything for Huamin. Huamin knew that Xianxia was a man of his words, but it would be ridiculous for him to open a hospital for her. Even if he had money and nowhere to spend it, he couldn't do that. It's really okay, I really like my current job. It's very fulfilling. The truth is, some jobs can't be measured by money, they're fun. The OB/GYN department I work in is the most tiring department in the entire hospital, but I love it here because I can witness the birth of so many new lives every day. The joy is indescribable. Xianxia, if you really care about me, then let me do what I like. Really, this is great. Okay. Xianxia nodded, showing that he respected her decision. Xianxia slowly stopped the car. We're almost there, you can wait here. Mian, Xianxia suddenly called out gently. Huamin turned around, but before she could see what was going on, Xianxia kissed her on the lips. Chapter 106. See you tonight? Xianxia said softly. Huamin covered his blushing face with one hand and hurriedly opened the door and ran out of the car. Then, without looking back, he ran towards the hospital. Then, Xianxia's Maybach turned around and drove in another direction. When Huamin arrived at the entrance of the hospital, he saw a silver BMW 730 slowly coming to a stop at the front of the parking space. Huamin was a little confused. This parking space belonged to the hospital director, and the director's car was an Audi A8. Just as he was wondering, he saw a woman get out of the car. She was very young and looked like she was in her 20s. Her eyes were small, and her eyebrows were long. She was wearing a red dress that hugged her hips and was very eye-catching. The woman wasn't particularly beautiful, but she had a good temperament. It was obvious that she was raised by a rich family. Huamin was just about to walk in when he heard the woman say sweetly, "Yuan, help me get my bag." Huamin turned around abruptly and saw Ning Ziyuan get out of the driver's seat with a Hermes bag in his hand. Then, he handed the bag to the woman, and the two of them walked towards the door hand in hand. The moment he saw Huamin, Ning Ziyuan's expression changed slightly, however, it was only for a moment. Then, he glanced at Huamin as if he was looking at a stranger. Then, he held the woman's hand and swaggered into the hospital. Isn't he with he man? Huamin muttered to himself. Huamin had been doing fetal heart rate tests for pregnant women the entire morning. When he finally finished, he looked at the time and saw that it was already past lunchtime. Mian, here, I packed a portion for you. But the dishes today are really ugly. I hate cabbage. Huang Yu walked in with 2 lunchboxes. Thank you, ya. Huamin smiled. Then she opened the lunchbox and began to eat. Once a person was hungry, they would forget to be picky about food. Even though Huang Yu said the food tasted awful, Huamin ate it with gusto. At this moment, an uninvited guest appeared at the door. Huamin, let's talk. Are you here to fight again? Huang Yu pouted when she saw Huamin finished the last mouthful of rice. He slowly raised his head and said expressionlessly, I have nothing to say to you. I'm not here to quarrel, nor am I here to pick a fight. I really have something to tell you. Say it. Once you're done, hurry up and leave. Huamin wasn't polite at all. He-Man glanced at Huang Yu, then looked at Huamin and said, Do you know? Ning Ziyuan hooked up with another woman. What does that have to do with me? Huamin retorted, Do you know who this woman is? She's President Wu's niece. She just came back from studying abroad in Japan. She's also a top medical student. I heard that she'll be assigned to the OB/GYN department. So what? Huamin didn't think this had anything to do with her. He-Man stared at her and continued, President Wu really likes this niece, so Ning Ziyuan hooked up with her because he wants to climb up the social ladder. This scumbag, I finally saw his true colors. I think the woman you saw at Ning Ziyuan's house a few days ago was probably her. So? Huamin stood up and looked at He-Man curiously. So, I came to you because I wanted to work with you to find President Wu's niece and expose Ning Ziyuan's true colors. I didn't expect him to be that kind of man. Did you know? I've already slept with him, and I gave my first time to him. He said that he would take responsibility for me and marry me. Then you should go find Ning Ziyuan. It's useless to find me, Huamin replied calmly. I did, but he ignored me and didn't answer my calls. He even changed the lock on his house. Huamin, you're also one of the victims. If the two of us work together to expose him, maybe President Wu's niece will abandon him. At that time, he won't be able to survive in our hospital, and he won't be able to dream of becoming the president's niece's son-in-law. What do you think? Chapter 107. Sorry, I'm not interested in that. Don't you want to take revenge? What did he do to you? He-Man thought that it was because of her intervention that Huamin and Ning Ziyuan broke up. Therefore, Huamin probably hated Ning Ziyuan. Ning Ziyuan and I broke up peacefully. There was no love or hate between us. I can't agree to your request. I still have work to do, so please leave. After speaking, Huamin sat down on the chair in her office and began organizing her files. You're such an unreasonable woman. Seeing that Huamin wasn't going to agree, He-Man glared at her and turned to leave. Huang Yu laughed. What karma? It seems like this woman was dumped by him. She even had the cheek to say that she gave her virginity to him. What the hell is she thinking? She's a homewrecker, and she thinks she's superior? Huamin didn't say anything about this. Although she didn't like He-Man, she didn't want to say anything. However, the woman driving the BMW with Ning Ziyuan in the morning was definitely President Wu's niece. No wonder she took up the hospital director's parking space. Mian, your ex-boyfriend is really something. He managed to hook up with the hospital director's daughter so quickly. I heard that Wu Xiaoxue is very arrogant and hard to get close to. I didn't think that she would hang out with Ning Ziyuan. She must be blind. It's normal for people to fall in love. Huamin smiled. She was able to face this situation calmly. In the afternoon, Huamin's phone rang as soon as she came out of the OR. After picking up the phone, Huamin immediately asked for a short leave from the head nurse and rushed to the entrance of the hospital. Uncle Ning, Auntie Ning, Huamin called out to the 2 white-haired elders. Mian. The 2 elders immediately smiled happily when they saw Huamin. Uncle Aunt, why are you here? Your aunt hasn't been feeling well recently, so I wanted to take her for a checkup. I haven't seen you guys in a long time, so I wanted to come and see you guys. I just called Ziyuan, but his phone was turned off. Then he might have surgery. He'll get back to you when he's done. The old man nodded. Ning Ziyuan's parents lived in a county undersea city. It took about 3.5 hours by car to get there. His parents had already retired. Ning Ziyuan was an only child, and his family was quite well off. The old couple had spent all their savings to support their son's medical education. Later, they bought a house and a car. Huamin would visit them every year. The old couple was very nice. Uncle Ning used to work at the post office, and Aunt Ning was a teacher. Because they were civil servants, they were very reasonable. They were also very satisfied with Huamin, their future daughter-in-law. Seeing their attitude towards Huamin guessed that they didn't know that Ning Ziyuan had already broken up with her. Uncle, Aunt, you guys haven't eaten yet, right? I'll take you guys to eat something first. Okay, let's find a small restaurant. Don't waste food, Ning Ziyuan's mother repeatedly reminded them. In a home-cooked restaurant behind the hospital, Huamin ordered 2 meat dishes, 2 vegetarian dishes, and a soup. She also ordered a bottle of liquor for Ning Ziyuan's father. The old couple was very happy. During the meal, Mr. Ning asked, Mian, have you guys finished renovating your house? When are you getting married? There's no rush. Ziyuan is still busy. Let's wait until he's done. You guys can't delay it any longer. Even if you're busy, you still have to get married. Your aunt and I talked about it. Our pension for the next few months is around 20,000 yuan. You guys can take it and go on a trip to Thailand for your honeymoon. It's okay. Uncle, Auntie, you don't have to take any more money. Keep it for yourselves. We can earn it ourselves. Huamin was very embarrassed. Child, what are you talking about? We're going to be a family from now on. What's ours is yours. All right, I brought you some mushrooms and wild vegetables from the mountains. Ziyuan's aunt brought them back from Mount Ferret. They're green and very nutritious. Mrs. Ning took out a big bag and handed it to Huamian. Auntie, there's no rush. Just give it to Ziyuan when you see him. I have to go back to work in a bit, so it's not convenient for me to take these. Mian, did you two have a fight recently? Every time I call you, Ziyuan stutters, Mrs. Ning suddenly asked. Chapter 108. No, Auntie, we didn't fight, Huamin lied. Really? Then why do I feel like something's not right? Mrs. Ning muttered to herself. You always overthink things. I told you it was fine. Mian is a sensible child. Of course she wouldn't fight with Ziyuan. Mr. Ning smiled. Upon hearing what he said, Huamin began to feel uneasy. After dinner, Huamin took his parents to the outpatient lounge of the first hospital. Then she went to the ophthalmology clinic. At this time, Ning Ziyuan had just finished a cataract surgery and came out of the OR, looking a little tired. Ziyuan, what do you want? Ning Ziyuan was exceptionally cold. Uncle Ning and Auntie Ning are here. They couldn't get through to you, so they called me. Upon hearing this, Ning Ziyuan took out his phone. Oh, I was in surgery, so I turned off my phone. Where are they? I took them to lunch. They're now in the lounge of the outpatient lounge. Oh, how much did the meal cost? I can give it to you now. It's okay, they've been so nice to me. Treating them to a meal is nothing. Forget it, we're not friends. How could I take advantage of you? 500 should be enough, right? Then, Ning Ziyuan took out his wallet, took out 500 yuan bills, and threw them at Huamin. Thank you for taking care of my parents for me. If you don't have anything to do with them, try not to contact them. My family has nothing to do with you anymore. I'll explain everything to them today. Okay. Huamin nodded. Ziyun, what's up? Wu Xiaoxue walked over from not too far away. She was wearing a white lab coat and looked at Huamin in an extremely unfriendly manner. Oh, my parents are here. They couldn't get through to me. Then she is? Wu Xiaoxue looked at Huamin impolitely. She's my schoolmate from university. Then, Ning Ziyuan turned around, grabbed Wu Xiaoxue's hand, and left. Huamin took the 500 yuan and smiled helplessly. She had spent more than 200 yuan on the meal. Now, Ning Ziyuan was giving her more than 500 yuan. He was really generous. However, since he had given it to her, she might as well take it. Thinking of this, Huamin turned around and returned to the gynecology and obstetrics consultation room. When it was almost time to get off work, The head nurse walked in with a young woman behind her. The woman was no stranger to Huamin. She was President Wu's niece, Wu Xiaoxue. Listen up, everyone. This is the new chief physician of our department. He will be seeing patients every Friday. Please cooperate with Professor Wu. Yes, head nurse. A few of the nurses replied immediately. Huang, you come here. You will be Professor Wu's personal assistant from now on, said the head nurse. Unexpectedly, Wu Xiaoxue smiled and said, Head nurse, I want Huamin to be my assistant. Professor Wu, do you know Huamin? The head nurse was surprised. Yeah, I know him. Wu Xiaoxue smiled, but it was a weird smile. Huamin was also slightly surprised. He did not expect Wu Xiaoxue to say something like this. Okay, if that's the case, Huamin, you can be Professor Wu's assistant. Do your best. The head nurse patted Huamin on the shoulder. I will, head nurse. Huamin nodded. After settling down, Huamin looked at the time. It was almost time to get off work, so he went to the changing room to get changed. As he was walking out, he heard Wu Xiaoxue run up to him and say, Huamin. What is it? Professor Wu. I have an academic conference in a bit, so I need you to prepare some documents. Stay here and help me print them out, Wu Xiaoxue said arrogantly. Huamin hesitated for a second. My colleagues in the office are in charge of printing the documents. It's not my job, Huamin said calmly. You are my assistant. You have to do whatever I want you to do. Otherwise, I have the right to fire you. Wu Xiaoxue was still smiling proudly. So, you're giving me a hard time because of Ning Ziyuan, right? Huamin asked straightforwardly. I didn't know you were so quick-witted. I heard that you're Ning Ziyuan's ex-girlfriend, right? Wrong, I'm his ex-ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend is He-Man. It seems like you're not up to date. Huamin smiled. He-Man is nothing, she's just a toy. I heard that you've been with Ziyuan for a few years now. You're even talking about marriage, right? Wu Xiaoxue asked provocatively. Chapter 109. Yeah. Huamin nodded. Unfortunately, you won't be that lucky. The person Ziyuan likes is me. He said that you shamelessly pursued him for several years before he reluctantly agreed to be with you. Also, you've never slept with him, right? He said that once he saw your face, he didn't have the desire to touch you. Huamin pursed her lips and chuckled when she heard this. What are you laughing at? Wu Xiaoxue asked angrily. Is that what he told you? Huamin asked. Is that not true? Oh yes, whatever he says. Huamin didn't bother to explain. See, I knew you were a woman with a bad character. I don't know why my uncle's hospital doesn't look at people's characters when they hire. They hire just anyone. How annoying. Professor Wu, I will prepare the information you need as soon as possible. If you want to chat, I'm sorry, but I don't have the time. Then hurry up and prepare the information. Also, if you hate me because of Ning Ziyuan, then it's not wise. I don't pose any threat to you. Threat? Are you worthy? Do you have what it takes? You're just an average-looking woman with a mediocre background. You even went to a third-rate medical school. How dare you compare yourself to me? You know that I have a master's degree in medicine from Tokyo University. I'm the youngest professor in all the hospitals in C-City. Do you understand? Of course, you have to thank your uncle, the director of the hospital. You. Wu Xiaoxue was speechless. She didn't expect Huamin to be so eloquent. Professor Wu, I'm going to prepare the information. Bye. After Huamin spoke, she walked towards the office. Actually, preparing the information was easy. Huamin was done in less than half an hour. However, Wu Xiaoxue wanted her to do it because she wanted her to work overtime and give her a hard time. After preparing the information, Huamin placed it on Wu Xiaoxue's desk and got off work. It was rare for Huamin to come back early today. He went to the supermarket to buy some vegetables and meat. Then she prepared dinner at home. She waited until 6 o'clock, but Qin Chu didn't come back. Huamin was a little hungry, so he ate first. Then he put the food in the kitchen and went upstairs to take a shower and wash his clothes. Qin Chu was supposed to get off work at 5:30, but he received a call from his father and went back to the Qin family's mansion. Mr. Qin had just returned from a trip overseas and seemed to be in a good mood. When Chu returned, he saw that in addition to his parents, there was also a father and daughter. Chu, this is Mr. Lu of Tianbao Real Estate, and this is Lu Xing, the daughter of your Uncle Lu. When Chu saw Lu Xing, he was a little surprised. Lu Xing was his classmate in high school. Most of the students in number 2 high school were rich kids. Therefore, it was not surprising that Lu Xing had a rich father. What was surprising was that they actually appeared in his house today. Uncle Chu and I were high school classmates. Lu Xing smiled. She was wearing a light pink dress today, and her hair was tied up in a ponytail. She looked like a teenage girl, and even her voice was delicate. Chu glanced at them but didn't say anything. Huh, really? What a coincidence, you guys were classmates. Mr. Qin looked very happy. I heard from Ying that your son is indeed a handsome man, Lu Xing's father complimented. It's time for dinner, come and sit down, Mrs. Qin said with a smile. Inside the dining room, the 3 members of the Qin family, Lu Xing, and her father stood in a circle. Lu Xing sat next to Chu and looked at Chu with admiration and adoration. She had a crush on Chu in high school. If it weren't for Huamin, she would have been Chu's girlfriend a long time ago. GK is doing well, you're amazing, Lu Xing complimented. Thank you. Chu was expressionless. He didn't even take a bite of the food, and he looked like he wasn't in the mood. Chu, why aren't you eating? Is the food not to your liking? Mrs. Qin asked. Dad, why did you ask me to come back? Chu was a little impatient. Nothing, I just wanted to have dinner with your Uncle Lu, Mr. Qin said slowly. Oh, if that's the case, then you guys eat. I'm going to go now, I have something to do. Then, Chu got up to leave. Stop right there. Mr. Qin didn't expect his son to be so rude, and his face was filled with anger. Chapter 110. Chu stopped in his tracks, but he didn't turn around. It's time to get off work. I asked your assistant, she doesn't have anything scheduled for tonight. What are you busy with? Chu didn't say anything. Are you messing around outside? Mr. Qin asked angrily. Chu turned around and raised his eyebrows. Dad, what do you mean by messing around? Chu, have you been hanging out with those shady women outside? Don't be like those rich playboys who get involved with women in the entertainment industry. It's not good for you. Shady? Do you think your son has that kind of taste? Chu thought it was a little funny. President Qin, I don't think your son is that stupid, President Lu said. Yeah, Uncle Qin, I know what kind of person Chu is. When we were in school, so many girls liked him, but he ignored them all. Plus, the media never reported any scandals about him, so it's definitely not what you think, Lu Xing said. If that's the case, then sit down. Dad, I'm an adult. I have my own thoughts and actions. If you're an adult, then you should know what it means to behave appropriately and reasonably. Your Uncle Lu and his daughter rarely come to our house. Why are you running around instead of keeping them company? Mr. Qin scolded. They're your guests, not mine. I didn't invite them, so I have no obligation to keep them company. You? Hey, President Qin, it's fine. If your son has something to do, then just do it. We can't make things difficult for our son. Yeah, don't make things difficult for your son. Xing, go send Chu off. You guys are classmates, so you should have a lot to talk about. Mrs. Qin loved her son dearly, so she didn't want to make things difficult for him. At the same time, she wanted to create opportunities for her son and this socialite. Lu Xing immediately stood up and smiled. Okay, Auntie Qin, I'll go send him off. Chu turned around and left, not wanting to argue with his father any further. Lu Xing jogged the entire way and followed Chu out the door. Chu walked up to the Maybach, opened the door and got in. Lu Xing stood outside the car window. She was so excited that she didn't know what to say. What's the matter? Chu asked with a frown. Chu, I've liked you for a long time. Lu Xing felt that this was a rare opportunity. If she didn't say something now, she might not have another chance in the future. She might as well confess her feelings now. So, Chu continued asking, so I want to ask, can you be my boyfriend? Lu Xing was a little nervous. She lowered her head and clutched the corner of her skirt tightly. You sure dare to dream. Qin Chu looked at her coldly. I just don't want to miss this opportunity. I've been thinking about you all these years. You think that if you like me, I will really like you, right? No. Lu Xing waved her hands frantically. If that's what you think, then that's ridiculous. Let me tell you, I've only liked one person my entire life, and I'll be that way until the day I die. So, you should stop thinking about me and stop thinking about me. Otherwise, you'll suffer for the rest of your life. You're not ugly, your family is rich, and there are plenty of men out there. Stop pestering me, and don't use your elders as a shield. GK doesn't need to marry into any rich family, because none of you are richer than I am. What I need is a woman that I love deeply. Even if that woman doesn't like you? Lu Xing suddenly asked. She felt like Huamin no longer had feelings for Qin Chu. It's enough that I like her. There's no room for a third person in our world. Don't try to do anything stupid, and don't force me to do anything to you. That's all. Then, Qin Chu rolled down the car window, and the Maybach sped out at an astonishing speed. Lu Xing stared at the back of the car dejectedly. In her heart, Qin Chu was like a god, unreachable. She knew that no matter how outstanding or beautiful she was, Qin Chu wouldn't even look at her. On the other hand, Huamin wasn't as stunning, came from a poor family, and had a bad temper. However, Qin Chu loved her more than his own life. She was so jealous that she was about to go crazy. By the time Qin Chu returned to Imperial Park, it was already 7:30 p.m. Huamin was sitting on the couch, watching a TV show. When she heard the door open, she sat up and asked, "You're back. Do you have something to eat?" "I'm starving," Qin Chu tiredly took off his jacket and said as he changed into his shoes. "But it's a bit cold, I'll go heat it up." Then, Huamin stood up and walked towards the kitchen. However, when she walked past Qin Chu, he hugged her from behind. Huamin's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 111. Don't move, let me hug you for a while. Qin Chu's voice was very soft, scaring Huamin so much that he didn't dare to move. Qin Chu, did something happen? She felt that something was wrong with Qin Chu's mood. According to his arrogant and cold personality, he shouldn't be like this. Nothing, I'm just a little tired, so I want to hug you. Huamin was wearing loose yellow home clothes with cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants on them. He looked very cute. His hair was casually tied up in a bun, looking fluffy and messy. Qin Chu was wearing a dark purple shirt with expensive diamonds on the cuffs. He hugged her quietly from behind, greedily inhaling her unique fragrance. Then his frustrated heart suddenly calmed down. With Huamin by his side, he suddenly felt that the world was beautiful. "Mian, will you always be by my side like this?" he suddenly asked. Huamin opened his mouth, but he didn't know how to answer. Should he say that he would? That would be a lie. Huamin never thought that she could grow old with Qin Chu. Because there were too many external factors and too many psychological burdens between them. Uncle Jing's death alone made it impossible for her to live peacefully with Qin Chu. What if she said that she wouldn't? She couldn't bear to, because she felt that at this moment, Qin Chu was very fragile. So, she decided to remain silent. After a while, Qin Chu slowly let go of Huamin and sat down on the sofa. He took out a thin cigarette from his pocket and lit it. There was something unfathomable in his eyes. Lu Xing and her father were just a pair of strangers to Qin Chu. He didn't even need to give them face. However, Lu Xing's words pierced his heart slightly. She said, "Even if the person you like doesn't like you back, is it okay?" This was actually what Qin Chu cared about the most. 7 years ago, Huamin loved him. He didn't doubt it at all. But 7 years later, who could be sure? 7 years could change a lot of things, even if Huamin wasn't with Ning Ziyuan. It didn't mean that she still had Qin Chu in her heart. After all, her family's misfortune was caused by his family. The culprits were his biological parents, so he couldn't take revenge on them. Looking at the woman he loved being by his side every day, he wasn't sure if she liked him or not. That feeling was really a terrible feeling. He was like an insecure child, worried that his lover would leave him at any time. Huamin, he brought the food he made for dinner, and brought it up the table. He's and look. I made it casually. Try it, I'm not that good at cooking. Huamin pointed at the food, lacking confidence. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He sat at the dining table, picked up a piece of vegetable, and ate it quietly. Stir-fried vegetable, scrambled egg with cucumber, dry-fried yellow croaker, and a three-delicacy soup. Because Huamin didn't like to eat meat, most of the food was vegetarian. Huamin wasn't sure if Qin Chu could get used to it. Huamin sat to the side and watched Qin Chu eat. It was the first time he felt so natural. Qin Chu looked very good when he ate. He was very elegant, and when he lowered his head, his eyelashes were very long. Huamin sat to the side and rested his chin on his hand. He watched this man eat seriously as if he was watching a TV show. It was as if he forgot how embarrassing his gaze was. Do I look good? Qin Chu didn't look at Huamin. Instead, he suddenly asked. Huamin came back to his senses when he heard this question. He coughed twice and immediately got up. You can leave it here after you're done eating. I'll come down to clean it up in a bit. I'm going upstairs to take a shower. After he finished speaking, Huamin stomped upstairs. An hour later, when he came down from the shower, the dining table was already clean. The used bowls were also very clean. Huamin was very happy about this. Qin Chu wasn't a male chauvinist like some men who thought that doing housework was a natural thing for women. In comparison, Qin Chu felt that he didn't want Huamin to do these housework. At this time, Qin Chu had already entered the study and started to organize the company's data. Huamin looked around and didn't see any housework to do, so he went back upstairs to his bedroom. Late at night, Qin Chu opened the door and saw Huamin sleeping soundly. He quietly walked to the bed, flipped over, and gently hugged her. Then he lay down beside her. Then he stared at her delicate face through the moonlight. Do I look good? She suddenly opened her eyes and asked him with a smile. Qin Chu was stunned. He didn't expect Huamin to wake up. Or rather, she wasn't asleep at all. Chapter 112. Looking at Qin Chu's handsome face through the moonlight, Huamin suddenly felt like she was in a dream. She had always been a light sleeper, so she knew when Qin Chu came in. Now that she had suddenly woken up, she just wanted to prank Qin Chu and see his reaction. But after seeing his reaction, she couldn't help herself. She didn't know if it was because the room was a little cold, but she actually reached out and held Qin Chu's warm palm. The two of them lay face to face and quietly looked at each other. They didn't need to speak, but it was better than 1,000 words. They both knew that all they needed to do was look at each other quietly. Huamin's eyes were clear and bright, like the brightest stars in the night sky. Qin Chu's eyes, on the other hand, were deep and misty, making people reluctant to look away after just one glance. For the first time, Qin Chu felt at ease. He tightly held Huamin's fair hand, full of happiness. The next morning, Huamin woke up early as usual and made breakfast. When Qin Chu came downstairs, he saw vegetable porridge, milk buns, and soy milk. Get a maid, you're working too hard, Qin Chu said as he ate. What's so hard about making breakfast? It's not tiring and it's just the two of us. It'll be inconvenient if there's an outsider. I have nothing to do when I'm resting, so I can do the housework. Huamin smiled. Qin Chu didn't say anything else. I want to talk to you about something. Huamin stammered. Go ahead. Don't transfer your salary to my card anymore. What's wrong? It's too much. Huamin pouted. But you're my wife. If I don't give my salary to you, who should I give it to? Qin Chu said matter-of-factly. You can keep it for yourself. You think I'm short of money? Qin Chu frowned slightly. No, I just think it's too much. It's not good for me to keep it. I think it's good. Qin Chu was stubborn. In the end, Huamin was defeated. Qin Chu knew that Huamin would never ask for money, so naturally, he asked the finance department to transfer his salary to Huamin's card. $1 million a month was more than she could spend. Plus, Huamin wasn't a wasteful person. She wanted to tell Qin not to do so, but Qin Chu didn't care. Since the negotiation failed, Huamin had to think of another way. Hua's eyes, Az's two's back. Hua, S's was. Huamin, what took you so long? Wu Xiaoxue immediately scolded when she saw Huamin walk in. Huamin lowered her head and buttoned her white coat as she replied, I'm not late. Do you know how busy the OB/GYN department is? Can't you be a little earlier? You have no professionalism at all. People like you are only fit to be a nurse, Wu Xiaoxue scolded in disdain. Huamin smiled slightly, there's nothing wrong with being a nurse. It's my wish. You have a sharp tongue. You'll suffer in the future. Let me tell you, I'm very strict. You can't make a single mistake when working under me. Otherwise, I'll fire you immediately. I'll do my best, Huamin replied nonchalantly. Wu Xiaoxue glared at her, then stood up with a folder. Follow me to the operating room. There's a pregnant woman who needs a C-section. Okay. Huamin followed Wu Xiaoxue all the way into the operating room. C-section sounded scary, but it was actually a small operation that was completed in a little over an hour. Huamin had to admit that Wu Xiaoxue's skills were not bad. After Wu Xiaoxue stitched up the wound, Huamin took care of the rest of the cleaning up. After she finished packing, she was so tired that she was gasping for breath. As soon as she walked out of the operating room, she heard Wu Xiaoxue yelling, Did you clean the operating room? Why are you running out? That's not my job. It's the cleaning team. They will do a complete disinfection. The operating room belongs to the OB/GYN department. You're a member of our department. Shouldn't you go and help? Do you think you get paid for nothing? Our hospital doesn't hire people who don't do anything. Professor Wu, don't you think you've gone too far by picking on me? Did I dig up your family's graves? Huamin looked at Wu Xiaoxue coldly. He couldn't bear it anymore. Chapter 113. Wu Xiaoxue was immediately enraged. What kind of attitude is that? I'm the chief physician, and you're just my assistant nurse. Not only do you not listen to me, but you even dare to speak to me like that. How uncultured are you? So, Professor Wu, a cultured person like you only knows how to make things difficult for her subordinates and avenge her private grudges? Is it because I'm your boyfriend's ex-girlfriend? Huamin glared at her, clearly upset. You? Wu Xiaoxue was at a loss for words after hearing Huamin's words. Plus, what Huamin said was the truth. She was indeed using her position to avenge her private grudges. The surrounding nurses began to whisper amongst themselves, and Wu Xiaoxue felt a little embarrassed. What are you looking at? Don't you have work to do? Go away. Wu Xiaoxue looked at the surrounding nurses and scolded them impolitely. Huang Yu dragged Huamin away in a hurry. Mian, don't be angry. I think Wu Xiaoxue has princess syndrome. She's born with a strong sense of superiority, and she always sees you as her enemy. Plus, I bet He-Man has been badmouthing you. I even saw He-Man come to see Wu Xiaoxue yesterday. I don't know what they said, but that woman just wants to see the world burn. I don't care what they said. I just can't stand Wu Xiaoxue's way of doing things. It's just work, and I'll just resign. However, there's no need for me to be bullied all the time. The head nurse is strict, but she has to follow the rules. Wu Xiaoxue's way of avenging her private grudges is a little too much, and I won't tolerate it. Retaliating appropriately is also a form of self-protection, Huamin said confidently. Huang Yu nodded in agreement. Mian, you're right. Even if she's the hospital director's niece, she can't do whatever she wants. She really thinks she's a princess, and she's spoiled. I support you. If you really can't stand it, you don't have to resign. You can apply for a transfer. I heard that the South Side Recuperation Center is short on people, and the salary is even higher than here. It's just that the work is a little tiring. Huamin shook his head. Forget it, let's not think too much about it. Let's take it one step at a time. After Wu Xiaoxue was transferred to the obstetrics and gynecology department, she caused a lot of trouble. Not only did Huamin become a thorn in her side, but the other young nurses were also tortured by her. Everyone complained in private, and the head nurse saw it and became worried. The head nurse had talked to Huamin, mainly hoping that she would be able to maintain a positive attitude and not let the personal grudge between her and Wu Xiaoxue affect her work. Huamin agreed on the surface, but she was actually very annoyed. In the afternoon, Huamin did his ward rounds, took the temperature of the pregnant women in a few wards, and even put them on infusions. As soon as he returned to the consultation room, he saw Wu Xiaoxue storming in angrily. Huamin, she shouted rudely. What's the matter now? Huamin knew that Wu Xiaoxue was up to no good. I told you to disinfect this morning, but you didn't listen. After that, the pregnant woman in the operating room got an infection after the operation. Now they are looking for someone to blame. You are in big trouble this time, Wu Xiaoxue said with a frown. Huamin sneered. Why am I in big trouble? What does it have to do with me if the disinfection was not thorough? That is the problem of the cleaning team. The infection after the operation could also be a problem of the chief surgeon's technique. What does it have to do with a nurse like me? Huamin felt that Wu Xiaoxue was treating her like an idiot. Did she think that she did not even know this basic knowledge? Everyone is responsible, but I think you can't escape the blame either. Anyway, I will report this matter to the higher-ups. When the time comes, those people in the cleaning team, the doctor in the second operation, and you, the nurse who neglected your duties, will all be fired. Professor Wu, are you kidding me? What you are saying is too far-fetched. If you really don't like me, I suggest that you go directly to the director of the hospital and tell him that I am your boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. If I am an eyesore to you, you can just fire me. Why do you have to go through so much trouble and put all the blame on me? What's more, you have implicated so many people. You are so stupid. It doesn't matter what you say. You can't escape the blame. Anyways, I'm going to make a big deal out of this. You can't run away. Wu Xiaoxue looked at Huamian and smiled viciously. Chapter 114. Huamin smiled as well. Sure, let's make this a big deal. Once the media gets involved, not only will our hospital be famous, but so will you. Of course, when the time comes, I will have a good chat with the reporters and show them the basic professional ethics of a doctor. You? Wu Xiaoxue didn't expect Huamin to be so difficult to deal with. He reacted so quickly that she couldn't keep up with him. If you think that I'm easy to deal with, then you're wrong. The truth is, I'm not that easy to trip up. Huamin looked at Wu Xiaoxue provocatively. After he finished speaking, he turned around and left. Wu Xiaoxue was so angry that her face turned white. Originally, Wu Xiaoxue didn't have much hostility towards Huamin. However, He-Man's repeated provocations made Wu Xiaoxue very unhappy. Although she knew that He-Man wasn't a good person, He-Man's words did have a lot of effect. He-Man said that Ning Ziyuan loved Huamin very much and chased after her for a few years. He-Man also said that Ning Ziyuan originally planned to use his new house for his wedding with Huamin. He-Man also said that Ning Ziyuan's parents loved Huamin very much and treated her like their own daughter. In the end, He-Man emphasized that even though they broke up, Huamin was still an important woman in Ning Ziyuan's life. A woman's jealousy was very scary. Wu Xiaoxue wasn't a very smart woman to begin with. Therefore, after being provoked by He-Man, she looked at Huamin as if he had killed her father. She really liked Ning Ziyuan. Although Ning Ziyuan didn't know how to sweet talk, he was very talented. She had read Ning Ziyuan's academic papers. They were very interesting. During a hospital conference, the director even singled out Ning Ziyuan to praise him. Moreover, a while ago, one of Ning Ziyuan's ophthalmological treatment plans had been approved by a foreign medical institution, and he had been invited to learn from it. Therefore, she admired Ning Ziyuan very much. In addition, Ning Ziyuan was not so clingy to her, which increased her interest. She moved into Ning Ziyuan's house and even met Ning Ziyuan's parents. Although the old couple didn't seem to like her, she was confident that Ning Ziyuan must marry her. At the door of the ophthalmology clinic, Wu Xiaoxue leaned against the door and looked at Ning Ziyuan, who was on the phone in his office. Then, Ning Ziyuan hung up the phone and saw her. He got up and walked over. Why you here? Well, I'm not too busy today, so I came to see you. Oh, come in and have a seat. Ning Ziyuan smiled. Wu Xiaoxue hugged Ning Ziyuan's neck coquettishly. Zun, let's get married. Ning Ziyuan was obviously a little surprised because he hadn't thought about it. It was purely an accident that he got together with Wu Xiaoxue. Ever since he broke up with Huamin, he had been in a bad mood. The novelty of He-Man had also worn off, so after work, he drove to the bar to get drunk. Unexpectedly, he ran into Wu Xiaoxue. Wu Xiaoxue recognized him and came over to drink with him. Later, when both of them were drunk, something happened naturally. He thought it was a one-night stand, but he didn't expect Wu Xiaoxue to stick to him and drive to his new house. After thinking about it, Wu Xiaoxue was the niece of the hospital director after all, and it would be helpful to his career. Therefore, Ning Ziyuan quickly kicked He-Man away and hooked up with Wu Xiaoxue, becoming the hot topic of the hospital's gossip. However, although they were together, he really didn't have the idea of getting married. At the moment, he only wanted to be promoted from an intern to a full-time doctor, then climb up the ranks, get rid of the chief doctor above him, and become the chief doctor himself. What's with that expression? Don't you want to? Wu Xiaoxue was obviously unhappy when she saw Ning Ziyuan's expression. Oh. Then why are you pulling a long face? You don't look happy at all. I'm just not ready yet. But I'm pregnant. Wu Xiaoxue pouted and acted coquettishly. What? Ning Ziyuan only felt a buzz in his head. Chapter 115. I said, I'm pregnant, Wu Xiaoxue repeated. You're not joking, right? Ning Ziyuan laughed dryly. Of course not, why would I joke about this? I didn't expect things to turn out this way. I've already taken birth control pills. Maybe the baby is lucky. But I think it's a bit too sudden. Wu Xiaoxue was unhappy when she heard this. She pushed Ning Ziyuan away. What do you mean? Do you want me to abort it? Let me tell you, I won't abort it. It's bad for my body. I'm an OB/GYN myself, I know that. That's not what I meant. Calm down. I can't calm down. Ning Xing, just tell me, are you going to marry me or not? If you can't let go of Huamin, then go back to her. I'll help you guys. Ning Ziyuan replied helplessly, Xiaoxue, what does this have to do with Huamin? Don't think that I don't know that you're still thinking about that woman. No, don't let your imagination run wild. Huamin and I broke up a long time ago. Then why don't you want to marry me? Wu Xiaoxue asked aggressively. I just don't think I'm good enough. I'm still an intern, and my house is on loan. I'm afraid that I won't be able to give you and the baby a good life. Do you understand? Wu Xiaoxue's attitude immediately changed when she heard this. She smiled and said, I won't despise you, Hozi. I have both a house and a car. My parents bought them for me a long time ago. After we get married, you can live with us. You can keep your house for your parents. Also, you can change your car. My dad said that he'll buy you a Mercedes-Benz GLK. As for your job, you don't have to worry about it. I'll tell my uncle to tell him that all of Ning Ziyuan's dreams came true with a single sentence from Wu Xiaoxue. He suddenly realized that there was a saying that was true. A rich wife could save him at least 10 years of hard work. Why aren't you saying anything? Wu Xiaoxue asked. It's fine. I'm just a little embarrassed to ask for your help for everything. I'll look down on myself. Zion, don't overthink it. You're so outstanding. You should have these things, you know? I really admire you. You're a genius ophthalmologist. I've read all your academic papers. They're amazing. Even my uncle said that you're a genius and will definitely achieve great things in the future. Hearing Wu Xiaoxue say this, Ning Ziyuan felt even more uneasy. This was because those papers that were praised by others were not written by him at all. Those were all written by Huamin in the past. Now that Huamin was no longer by his side, he couldn't bring out anything new. He could only rely on his old stuff to attract attention. Bjorn? What do you think of my suggestion? Let's get married, okay? Okay. Ning Ziyuan squeezed out a word from between his teeth after a long time. Wu Xiaoxue was immediately overjoyed and hugged Ning Ziyuan's neck tightly. Just as Huamin was about to get off work, her phone suddenly received a WeChat message. It was from Zhu Lingling. She said, Mian, take a look at our classmates' group chat. Huamin didn't want to delay her work, so she blocked all notifications from WeChat. If she didn't look at it on purpose, she wouldn't know that there were new messages in the group. With Zhu Lingling's reminder, she immediately turned on her phone and opened the group chat. There was a photo of Qin Chu sitting at the dining table. The person who sent the photo was Lu Xing. After the photo was sent, Her classmates immediately exploded and began to question her. Xiaoying, what's going on? Are you dating Qinchu? Xiaoying, when did you eat with Qinchu? Why didn't you invite me? You're so mean. Lu Xing, you're amazing. You even managed to ask Qinchu out. You're not simple at all. Of course, they were just flattering her. Zhu Lingling, on the other hand, replied, Did you take this photo on the spot? Did you steal it from someone else? Chapter 116. This sentence obviously angered Lu Xing. She purposely replied to Zhu Lingling, Last night, I went to Qinchu's house with my dad to visit his parents. He happened to be home, so we had dinner together. Do you think I'd be so bored as to steal someone else's photos? Oh, so it was a business collaboration, Zhu Lingling replied. Obviously, everyone knew that Zhu Lingling and Huamin were best friends, so naturally, they wouldn't say anything nice to Lu Xing. It wasn't a business collaboration, my dad didn't go there for business. Our families have always been good friends, and Qinchu's new car was awesome. He even took me for a spin. No photos, no truth, Zhu Lingling replied coldly. I won't post all the photos, after all, it's a private matter between Qinchu and me, Lu Xing bragged. Huamin felt a little uncomfortable upon seeing this. Last night, Qinchu did come home a little late, and when he came back, he didn't look quite right. It turned out that he took Lu Xing for a spin. While Huamin was in a daze, Zhu Lingling sent him a WeChat message, asking, Mian, is what she said true? Did your Qinchu really have dinner with her? That woman is so disgusting. I'm not sure, I never ask about Qinchu's matters. What are you talking about, aren't you married? Zhu Lingling asked again. Huamin smiled bitterly and replied with a voice message, You should know our relationship, we're not a loving couple. Anyways, it's weird. If you don't care about him, aren't you afraid that someone else will steal him away? You have to know how outstanding your Qinchu is. I don't have a choice. If something like that happens, then I have a reason to get a divorce. That's pretty good. Mian, are you telling the truth? Lingling, let's not talk about him. Let's talk about you. I haven't seen you for the past few days. I miss you so much. Come out for a meal. Okay, I'll make a reservation. What do you want to eat? Zhu Lingling was extremely happy. It's my treat today. You can pick the place. All right, madam. See you later. Huamin put down his phone and began to change. When he walked out of the hospital, Zhu Lingling sent him the address. Hilton Hotel Seafood Restaurant. Huamin took a taxi directly. When he arrived, Zhu Lingling had just arrived. Madam, I'm going to rip you off today. No problem, eat as much as you want. Huamin smiled. It seems like Qinchu treats you well. He can satisfy you endlessly with money, Zhu Lingling exclaimed. His salary is transferred to my account every month. Although I didn't earn those years, I think he won't mind spending a little bit every now and then. Huamin smiled. She and Zhu Lingling were both seafood lovers. In the past, she didn't have much money, so Zhu Lingling always took the initiative to treat her. Now that she had money, she naturally wanted to repay her best friend with a big meal. It was a grand seafood platter filled with a dazzling array of seafood. In the middle of the platter was a 4-pound Australian lobster. Huamin and Zhu Lingling had a tacit understanding and immediately dug in without even saying a word. After eating and drinking to their fill, Huamin wiped the corner of his mouth and asked, What's up with you recently? You haven't been sending WeChat messages, what are you busy with? Are you still buying things? No, I haven't been buying things recently. I'm busy dating. Dating? You have someone in mind? Huamin looked up and smiled curiously. Zhu Lingling smiled mysteriously and said, Yeah, I have someone that I like a lot. But now isn't the right time, so I can't bring him to you yet. When the time comes for us to go public, I'll tell you everything. Okay, then I wish you a happy relationship. Huamin picked up the glass of red wine. Thank you, Goddess Hua. When it was time to pay the bill, Huamin's heart ached for a moment. Although she was mentally prepared and knew that the price wasn't cheap. She was still a little shocked by the amount of 39,800 yuan. What's wrong? Does your heart ache? Zhu Lingling touched her arm. I might treat other people, but I definitely won't treat you. I just feel like we've been scammed and it's not worth it. If we went to the seafood market with 30,000 yuan, we could buy a lot of seafood. Even Daxia could probably sell a few buckets of it. Ha, that's not the same. This is the Hilton Hotel, my lady. Zhu Lingling laughed. When they walked out of the hotel, Huamin got into Zhu Lingling's car. She drove a red Mazda Atkins. Huamin once joked that it was the standard configuration for a mistress. This model was very popular and was everywhere. Moreover, it was driven by young girls. However, Zhu Lingling's monthly salary was 15,000 yuan, so this car was really classy. Mian, I really hate that bitch Lu Xing. Can you think of a way to torture her? How? Upload your marriage certificate with Qin Chu to the group chat. Then she'll. Zhu Lingling smiled wickedly. Chapter 117. I don't want that. If word gets out, my mom will be the first to kill me, Huamin sighed as he sipped on his coconut juice in the passenger seat. Sigh, your old lady is still hung up over what happened 7 years ago. You can't really blame Qin Chu for this. Qin Chu was already overseas at the time, and Qin Chu's parents are just asking for trouble. You can't really blame him either. Your old lady is too traditional. If you ask me, it's a great thing that you and Qin Chu are getting married. He's handsome, rich, and most importantly, he's good to you and devoted to you. Things aren't as simple as you think. If things were that simple, then we wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. You're right, but she'll find out eventually. You have to be prepared when the time comes. I'm still going to say the same thing. Maybe Qin Chu and I will get divorced before the truth is out, Huamin thought sadly. What if you two accidentally get married and grow old together? Really? Huamin didn't even dare to imagine what Zhu Lingling was talking about. The world is so big, there are endless possibilities. Don't worry about it. Zhu Lingling drove Huamin to the entrance of Imperial Park. After some sighing, the two said goodbye and Zhu Lingling drove away. As Huamin walked into the neighborhood, he took out his phone and casually glanced at it. Then he was shocked. In the classmate group chat, Qin Chu, who had been quiet all this time, suddenly sent a WeChat message. He only had one sentence. Last night, I had dinner with Huamin. Then, this sentence exploded like a sudden clap of thunder. Didn't Xing say that she had dinner with you? She even sent a photo. Yeah, was the photo photoshopped? The person in question denied it. Someone's going to be slapped in the face. Mr. Qin, did you get back together with Goddess Hua? Littling, what's going on? Everyone was talking about it, but Lu Xing didn't say anything. She had wanted to post a photo to show off today, but she had not expected that she would end up looking for trouble. What was even more unexpected was that Qin Chu actually took the initiative to speak in the group. She thought that Qin Chu was not on WeChat. If she had known, she would not have sent that photo to cause trouble. Thinking of this, Lu Xing added Qin Chu again and wrote, I'm sorry, forgive me. The Qin family didn't care at all and left the group. In the past, she had joined this group because she was paying attention to Huamin's every move. Now that she was by his side, he naturally wasn't interested in this group anymore. After Qin Chu withdrew, it caused a lot of speculation. There were even some gossipy people who asked Huamin what was going on. Huamin didn't know how to reply, so he left the group. To be honest, other than Zhu Lingling, she really didn't get along well with those people. Especially after what happened between her and Wei Dong last time, she felt even more awkward. Now that Qin Chu had left the group, she should take the opportunity to leave as well. This was probably the best opportunity. When Huamin opened the door and walked in, she saw Qin Chu standing by the window in the living room with a glass of red wine in his hand. You're home? She asked casually. Last night I went home. Lu Xing and her father were there too. We sat together for a while, but we didn't eat. I came back to eat, and I didn't take her for a ride. None of that happened. She didn't think that Qin Chu would take the initiative to explain this. It seemed like he had seen what happened on WeChat as well. Oh, Huamin nodded, indicating that she understood. Qin Chu turned around and placed the empty wine glass by the wine cabinet. He walked over to Huamin. Then, he picked up a box from the coffee table and handed it to her. What is this? I bought it for you. After Qin Chu finished speaking, he turned around and went upstairs. Huamin wanted to refuse, but he was nowhere to be found. Chapter 118. Huamin slowly opened the rectangular gift box. Inside was a brand new rose gold 6S. It turned out to be a phone. Huamin looked at her old 4S, which was discarded by her brother, He. She bought a 5 for Jixin, so Jixin gave this black 4S to Huamin. Huamin thought it was quite useful, so she kept using it. To her surprise, Qin Chu saw all of this and gave her a new one. Although she felt that it wasn't right to accept it like this, it would be too pretentious if she refused. After all, she already accepted a 1,000,000 yuan salary. How could she be short of a phone that cost a few thousand yuan? Thinking of this, Huamin took the phone back to her room and manually cut the SIM card. She changed into a new phone. Then, to test the resolution, she even sat on the bed and took a selfie. She didn't know that her phone's iCloud was shared with Qin Chu. In other words, every photo she took on her phone would automatically be displayed on Qin Chu's phone. Therefore, when Mr. Qin, who lived next door, saw Huamian in her pajamas with a peace sign, he was shocked. The corners of his mouth curled up and he smiled. Huamin then logged into WeChat and saw a new message from someone who had added her. She opened it and saw that it was from Qin Chu. She clicked accept and added him. The first thing she asked was, "How did you know my WeChat ID?" To her surprise, Qin Chu immediately replied, "I searched the people nearby." Huamin immediately found that function and quickly turned it off. She actually hated the ability to search the people nearby, because she felt unsafe and didn't want to add strangers. However, since Qin Chu added her, it was fine. After all, they lived under the same roof. Just then she received another WeChat message. Qin Chu sent her a transfer. 8,888 yuan. Huamin clicked accept and then replied, "Thank you." Qin Chu didn't make a move. The next morning during breakfast, Huamin glanced at Qin Chu and said, "I'll be working the night shift this week. I won't be back at night." "Why do you have to work the night shift?" Qin Chu frowned, obviously unhappy. Huamin smiled helplessly. "I don't want to either, but this is the hospital's rule. I can call Wu Zhongxing and ask him to cancel your night shift." "No, don't hit me. If the director really transfers me to the day shift, then the night shift will belong to other colleagues. I will be a sinner in our department who doesn't work the night shift. I don't want that." "All right, as you wish." Seeing that Huamin didn't agree, Qin Chu didn't say anything more. "Thank you for the phone and the red packet." "Then thank you for your breakfast," Qin Chu replied inexplicably. Huamin didn't know what to say. On the way to the hospital, the two of them didn't say anything. Qin Chu had his Bluetooth earpiece on and seemed to be listening to his assistant's report. Huamin didn't dare to say anything either. When they got out of the car, Huamin saw that Qin Chu was still busy, so she silently opened the door to get out. However, Qin Chu suddenly grabbed her left hand. She came back to her senses in shock and looked at him. Qin Chu took off his earpiece and asked, "How long will you be working the night shift?" "About a week." "Do you rest during the day?" "Yeah, I sleep at home during the day." Qin Chu didn't say anything and let go of Huamin's hand. "Then I'll get out of the car. Drive safe." Huamin waved her hand and got out of the car. Qin Chu watched her walk into the hospital before driving away. Morning meeting at GK headquarters. After the department heads finished their reports, Qin Chu looked around and slowly said, "I have something to announce." All of the executives immediately perked up their ears and listened carefully, afraid that they would miss out on something important. Starting tomorrow, for the next week, all employees will take the day off and work at night. As soon as he said this, everyone was dumbfounded. President Qin this? If anyone feels uncomfortable, they can hand in their resignation letter, that's all. After speaking, Qin Chu stood up and left. Assistant Yang silently followed behind the president, once again exclaiming at his boss's willfulness. "President Qin, I wanted to ask, are you doing this because you want everyone to get used to the time difference? If we move our headquarters to the States in the future, won't everyone be used to it?" Assistant Yang suddenly asked. Qin Chu faintly glanced at him and replied, "You're thinking too much. No one knew that Qin Chu only came up with this idea because he wanted to spend time with his wife during the day. Huamin, come here, it's urgent. The head nurse waved her hand and yelled at Huamin. Chapter 119. Head nurse, what's wrong? Huamin jogged over to the head nurse, thinking that something had happened to the patient. Hurry up and change, it's too late. The head nurse pushed Huamin into the changing room, leaving Huamin confused. Head nurse, I'm still at work, why do I need to change? Didn't I say that I was going to introduce my cousin to you? He's here today at the coffee shop downstairs. Hurry up and change so you can talk to him. My cousin is very outstanding. The head nurse was used to being serious. Why was Huamian not used to gossiping? After Huamin changed, she finally sorted out her thoughts. The current situation was that the head nurse was going to introduce her to someone. Was she going to change into casual clothes and go on a blind date? But she was already married. Was it really appropriate for her to go on a blind date? With that thought, Huamin decided to come clean and tell the truth. After all, lying was not a good thing. Therefore, she opened her mouth and said, Head nurse, the situation is like this. I think you might have misunderstood. I'm actually already. Before she could say the word married, the head nurse interrupted her. He's sitting by the window in the cafe downstairs. There's a young man in a white shirt. That's him. Hurry up and go. That's all. Head nurse, the patient in room 5's water broke. Please arrange for an operating room, the other nurses anxiously shouted. Okay, I'll be right there. Then, the head nurse patted Huamin on the shoulder and encouraged her. Go, you can do it. Hey, head nurse, I'm not done yet. Huamin looked conflicted. However, the head nurse had already left in a hurry. If she didn't go, then wouldn't it be rude to make him wait there? Clenching her teeth, Huamin decided to meet the head nurse's crazy cousin and explain everything to him face to face. After changing out of his white lab coat, Huamin put on a yellow short-sleeved shirt with a Mickey Mouse pattern and a pair of light blue jeans. She didn't even have time to comb her hair. Her hair was spread out wantonly, giving off a fluffy feeling. The early summer wasn't that hot and humid. Occasionally, there would be a cool breeze. Huamian took a deep breath and walked into the coffee shop they had agreed to meet at. Sure enough, she saw a young man sitting by the window. He was dressed in white and sat there quietly. Huamin didn't even know her name. It was only because the head nurse had kindly introduced her that he was embarrassed to not come. Hi, nice to meet you. I was introduced by the head nurse. Huamin mustered up the courage to greet her. The man turned around and glanced at Huamin. He nodded faintly. Hello, please take a seat. Huamin then took a seat opposite him. What would you like to drink? Water is fine. Huamin smiled awkwardly. Waiter, give this lady a glass of lemonade. He made the decision. Then he glanced at Huamin and carefully studied her facial features and clothes. Then he slowly said, My cousin told you what I do for a living, right? She did. I'm a forensic doctor. Yes, I'm a forensic doctor. I was specially hired by the Ministry of Public Security. I studied forensic medicine at the University of Maryland in the United States. I'm the youngest forensic doctor in our province. May I know your name? Huamin was actually not interested in this person's profession at all. He just wanted to tell him the truth after knowing his name so that he wouldn't misunderstand. Perhaps he didn't expect the young lady sitting opposite him to be expressionless after hearing about his brilliant academic background. Instead, she calmly asked for his name. Chapter 120. My name is Lin Mingyu. Lin as in, Ming as in the moon, and Yu as in the universe, he explained calmly. Lin Mingyu wasn't considered handsome, but he was a young man with regular features and delicate features. She was wearing the latest Armani design, and she was wearing a Cartier ring on her index finger. With such a flashy outfit, he did not look like a forensic doctor at all. However, one could not judge a book by its cover. Huamin hesitated for a moment and introduced himself in the same way. My name is Huamin. Hua as in Huiyuanjia, and Mian as in sleep. Mian as in sleep? Very few people use this word for their names. Why not Mian as in K-pop? Lin Mingyu was curious. I'm not sure. My mom gave it to me. Huamin was speechless. All right, Huamin. What an interesting name. Lin Mingyu took a sip of his coffee and sighed. Mr. Liu, I'm actually here for, don't worry. My cousin has told me about your situation. I heard that you graduated from a third-rate university and are still an intern nurse. You only have a younger brother and a mother who live in the suburbs. Your brother is still in university and your mother runs a small supermarket, right? That's right. My family situation is like that. The head nurse treats me very well, so she thinks too highly of me. I don't think I'm good enough for someone like you. So, we're not suitable. Huamin was relieved that Lin Mingyu took the initiative to talk about this. After all, if it could be solved easily, he did not have to explain his situation. Unexpectedly, Lin Mingyu continued, I'm not such a superficial person. I don't care about conditions. My cousin said that you're a good person. You're serious and hardworking. I've seen your photo before and I think you're quite delicate and pretty. I don't ask for much from my future wife. As long as you're virtuous, it'll be fine because my income is very high. After we get married, you don't have to go to work at all. You can just stay at home and take care of the children. What do you think? I think you're thinking too far ahead. Huamin was a little speechless. Of course not. These things can be done immediately. You know the nature of my job. I'm very busy, so I don't have time to date. If I like the other party, I'll get married immediately. I don't want to waste time with each other. So, these are all very realistic problems. Everyone has their own opinions. What you said might be right for you, but it's not my standard. Anyway, the head nurse is kind and I'm very grateful to her. You're also very outstanding, but we're not suitable. Thank you for the coffee. I think I should be going. Huamin stood up apologetically. I think I should go. Seeing Huamian's reaction, Lin Mingyu felt a little uncomfortable. Did the blind date fail? Was he given a PSA by an unknown nurse? Mian. Huamian paused. I want to know, what do you not like about me? Lin Mingyu had gone on many blind dates. Most of the time, it was the girls who took the initiative to contact him. Lin Mingyu was a highly educated returnee. His parents were leaders and he came from a wealthy family. He drove an Audi Q5 and had an annual salary of 600,000. He had a house and a car. Wasn't this perfect? He did not understand. Huamin was just an intern nurse. His family was poor. Why was he acting so pretentious? I don't like anything about you, Huamin answered honestly. Then why are you in such a hurry to leave? You keep saying that we're not suitable for each other. Aren't you trying to eliminate me? Lin Mingyu asked unhappily. Chapter 121. Eliminated? I don't think so. It's just that our education and background are too different. We're not compatible at all, so there's no need to continue the conversation. But I don't mind. But I mind, Huamin said with a smile. When Huamin smiled, faint dimples appeared on both sides of her cheeks. It was very beautiful. Lin Mingyu admitted that he did not think highly of this intern nurse before he came for the blind date. He just wanted to give face to his cousin. However, after interacting with her, he realized that this nurse was different. If I don't mind, why do you mind? Lin Mingyu asked gloomily. Because I know my place. Huamin continued to smile. It's good to know your place, but it also depends on the situation. I've already made it very clear that I don't mind that you don't know anything. If you're afraid that you won't have a common language with me because my job is too special, I won't blame you. After all, the nature of a forensic doctor's job is very special and it's very difficult. It's not something that ordinary people can communicate with. That's not a problem. I'm not worried about that. Huamin was an honest girl. When she said this, she did not think too much. However, the speaker did not mean it, but the listener meant it. Lin Mingyu was already angry. When he heard Huamin's words, he laughed mockingly and said, "Huh? What do you mean that's not a problem? From what you said, you seem to know something. Don't blame me for not reminding you. The professional knowledge of a forensic doctor is very deep. It's not something that you nurses learned in medical school. Do you understand? Don't think that you know a lot. It's true that you know your place, but don't you think that you're pretending to know something when you don't? I'm not. I'm just telling the truth. Huamin calmly stated. What kind of truth? You're just a nurse from a third-rate medical school. What kind of truth do you know? I'm very curious. Lin Mingyu's tone was full of disdain. He had always been proud of his professional knowledge. In the past, when he went on blind dates, there were girls with higher education who tried to talk about professional knowledge and show off to him. In the end, they were all speechless. However, Huamian, this little nurse, was boasting shamelessly today, which really pissed him off. Mr. Lin, I think you can be too one-sided sometimes. Yes, I'm a nurse, but that doesn't mean that I don't know other professional knowledge. Education doesn't mean everything. On the contrary, many people who don't have high education make great contributions. What you're saying is all empty talk. It's meaningless. How about this? You keep saying that you know the professional knowledge of forensic medicine. Why don't we sit down and have a chat? We won't talk about anything else but our expertise. Do you dare? If this can make you change your prejudice against academic qualifications, I will be very happy. Okay, have a seat. But I'll say the ugly words first. If you can't answer my questions, then you'll have to apologize to me seriously and take responsibility for your arrogant words and actions. All right. If you can answer it, then I will apologize to you. I will also change my prejudice against people with low education. What do you think? Lin Mingyu asked. Okay. Huamin originally planned to leave, but after hearing Lin Mingyu's words, she changed her mind. If she didn't teach this pretentious forensic doctor a lesson, she wouldn't be able to take it lying down. Of course, if you admit defeat now, it's still not too late. I won't make fun of you because of this. No need. It's not my style to admit defeat without even trying, Huamin replied calmly. You are indeed very special. Lin Mingyu smiled. That's why, Mr. Lin, time is precious. Let's talk about your expertise, Huamin said seriously. Chapter 122. The corners of Lin Mingyu's mouth twitched into a mocking smile. Then he rested his chin on his hands and stared into Huamin's eyes. You should know the nature of our work as a forensic doctor. We need to extract the appropriate materials for chemical and biological examinations according to the needs. Then, we need to conduct clinical examinations to observe the living body, determine the physiological and pathological conditions of the living body, solve the medical liability in medical accidents, and prevent infectious diseases, poisoning, etc. During this process, we will come into contact with 3 research methods, including chemical research methods, biological research methods, and physical research methods. What are these 3 methods? Of course, if you can't tell me everything, just give me a few representative ones, and I'll consider you a pass. Lin Mingyu thought that Huamin would be confused after he asked these questions because it was too professional. Unexpectedly, after Huamin listened carefully, he looked at Lin Mingyu's face and replied, Chemical research methods include the use of chemical analysis methods to determine the qualitative and quantitative nature of poisons, the testing of feces and vomit for toxins, the use of chemical methods to determine whether there are bloodstains, and the use of biological methods to check the human body's enzyme types and genetic fingerprints, including DNA technology to identify individuals. Hearing this, Lin Mingyu was slightly surprised. He didn't expect this little nurse to know so much. Then, Huamin continued, the biological research method is more interesting. In fact, it's the use of immune serology to identify the species and blood type of blood, semen, other liquid spots, secretions, bones, and hair of individuals and animals. The theory and technology of microbiology are used to study the bacteria and pathology of the relevant materials. It also includes the study of the age, gender, and racial characteristics of the corpses. That's right. Lin Mingyu nodded. He pretended to be calm and suppressed the surprise in his heart. Huamin glanced at him and said, As for the last physical research, it's also one that I'm very interested in. It's the use of physical instruments to determine the strength of the skin and bones, the use of X-ray technology to determine the age of the body's foreign bodies and bones, the use of gas chromatography, ultraviolet, red spectrophotometry, mass spectrometry, magnetic resonance technology, neutron activation technology, and so on to qualitatively and quantitatively analyze poisons and drugs, and the use of spectral analysis, electrophoresis technology, and microscopy technology to examine the forensic evidence. Hey, I'm done. You didn't miss a single word. Lin Mingyu's gaze at Huamin had changed. There was no longer the contempt from before. Instead, it was replaced by shock and even dumbfounded. Do you still teach nurses these theories in medical school? Lin Mingyu's voice. How is that possible? I'm interested in medical science, of the human body's anatomy, and I've also studied neurosurgery and ophthalmology. I've read a lot of related books. And of the human bodies, of course, of the human body, of the human body, the human's human body. Of the medical knowledge, to every, blind date. Every he. Was there of him to be to the every he. To go. Were to every to date to blind. It's nothing. It all stems from my own interests. Huamin smiled faintly. It's a pity that you're a nurse. I'm lacking an assistant in the Ministry of Public Security. If you're interested, you can fill in the form and take the exam in 3 months. If you pass, you'll be a part of the Ministry of Public Security. My cousin told me that you're a genius. I didn't pay much attention to it at that time. I thought she was exaggerating. But now, it seems like you're really smart. I think you're very smart. Lin Mingyu finished his speech in a serious manner. Instantly, the blind date turned into a job fair. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. No need. I think I'm doing pretty well now. There's nothing wrong with being a nurse. Lin Mingyu didn't expect Huamin to reject his invitation so easily. It was such a rare opportunity. Since you're not interested in being my assistant, then be my girlfriend. After so many blind dates, I've finally found someone I like. Huamin. That's right, it's you. I like you. Lin Mingyu pointed at Huamin and solemnly announced. Chapter 123. Mr. Liu, I'm really sorry, but I can't agree to your request. Huamin originally wanted to teach Lin Mingyu a lesson for being pretentious and looking down on people with low academic qualifications. He didn't expect that Lin Mingyu would take a liking to him and even ask to be his girlfriend. But aren't we suitable for each other? You know so much about forensics, we'll have a lot of common topics to talk about. After we get married, I can even send you to the United States to further your studies and get a medical license. With your talent, it's entirely possible for you to become an ophthalmologist or a brain surgeon. You're so young, you should have these dreams, right? You misunderstood. My dream is to be a normal nurse. I'm very happy right now. I don't want to further my studies, and I definitely don't want to get a medical license. Why? Lin Mingyu asked for the second time. Everyone's path is different, and no one has the right to choose the path for others. I'm very grateful that you think so highly of me, but that's not what I want. As for the girlfriend thing, I want to sincerely apologize to you. I came here this time to tell you that I have someone I like, and I already have a boyfriend. The head nurse didn't have time to listen to my explanation, so she misunderstood. I'm sorry for the trouble I've caused you, but I still don't want to lie, so I'll just tell you what I want. You have a boyfriend? Lin Mingyu was slightly disappointed. Yes, because I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, the head nurse thought that I was still sad, so she kindly introduced me to him. Actually, I already have a boyfriend, he's my high school classmate. I've known him for many years, and we have a very good relationship. Before we get married, nothing is certain. Don't jump to conclusions too early, Lin Mingyu said, unwilling to give up. Huamin only pursed his lips and smiled. I was a bit impulsive just now, and I even showed off in front of a professional forensic doctor like you. I'm really sorry, don't take it to heart. No, I'm the one who's sorry. Your performance today shocked me, and it also changed my mind. I will never judge a person based on their academic qualifications again. Lin Mingyu was now filled with respect for Huamin. If that's the case, that's great. I wish you a happy life and work in the future. After that, Huamin stood up and said goodbye. Huamin, can we be friends? Lin Mingyu suddenly shouted from behind. Huamin didn't say anything, nor did he turn around. He only stretched out his right hand and made a gesture with his index and middle fingers. Lin Mingyu smiled. This was probably the most special blind date he had had in the past few years. When she returned to the hospital, the head nurse immediately pulled her into the office and whispered, "How was it? How was my cousin?" "Not bad." "Are you two dating now?" the head nurse asked anxiously. No, I'm sorry, head nurse, we're not compatible." The head nurse was slightly disappointed. "It's okay. I'll introduce you to someone better in the future." "No need, I already have someone I like." "Head nurse. So fast? Who is it?" "Of my high school classmate." "You kids, seriously, why do you all want to go back to the same old grass? High school classmate, middle school classmate, what's the point?" the head nurse exclaimed. Huamin only smiled. That night, while they were having dinner at the hospital cafeteria, Huamin and Huang Yu were chatting. Then, a female doctor next to them was chatting, which caught Huamin's attention. She said, "GK's new president is crazy. He announced that for the next week, he'll be off during the day and working at night. What a weirdo. My boyfriend has to work overtime because of him. I finally didn't have to work the night shift this week, but now it's his turn." "That's crazy. How come this is the first time I've heard of a company that works at night? It's not like it's a flow-through processing plant. Why do we have to work at night? Isn't that torture?" Huamin's heart skipped a beat upon hearing this. Did Qin Chu's order have something to do with her? At this thought, she took out her phone and quietly sent a WeChat message to Qin Chu. Chapter 124. Are you there? Yes, Qin Chu replied almost instantly. I heard that your company has been working night shifts for the past week. Why? Because night shifts are good. Qin Chu's answer was extremely willful. What kind of stupid answer was that? Huamin thought that GK's sudden night shift definitely had something to do with her. She wasn't overthinking things, otherwise, how could it be so coincidental that GK's entire company was working night shifts when she was working night shifts? I get off work at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. What a coincidence, I also get off work at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, Qin Chu replied. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What coincidence? It was clearly according to her shift schedule, all right? You'll be home after work tomorrow morning, right? Then let's talk, I have something to talk to you about. After sending the WeChat message, Huamin sighed. He didn't have the appetite to eat anymore. If GK's entire company was implicated because of her night shift, then she would be a sinner for eternity. According to the Buddhist scriptures, it was a sin, and she would go to hell after death. At the thought of this, Huamian felt a chill run down her spine. Then, why aren't you eating? I'm full. You didn't eat much, your appetite is bad, and your complexion is pale. Are you pregnant? Let's go to the ultrasound room later. I'll give you a picture, Huang Yu teased. Why would I be pregnant? More like I'm in love. Huamin tapped his junior sister's head with his chopsticks. After interacting with Huang Yu for a long time, he realized that she was a sweet, naive girl. She was young, pure, and had not been contaminated by the big dye vat of society. Other than going to work and getting off work, she would spend her days watching romantic Korean dramas. The truth was, Huamin often envied Huang Yu. At least she lived a simple life, like a child with no worries. After staying up all night, Huamin finally got off work. Last night, Huamin had taken care of a pregnant woman who was about to give birth naturally. The pregnant woman was about to give birth, and the baby would be born in a few days. They heard that she had married into a rich family, so her mother-in-law and husband strongly urged her to give birth naturally, saying that a C-section was not good for the baby. However, after Huamin looked at the data, he realized that this pregnant woman did not have the conditions to give birth naturally. First of all, the baby's umbilical cord had to be wrapped around the neck for 2.5 rounds. This was quite dangerous. They were afraid that the baby would suffocate during delivery. Another thing was that the pregnant woman's blood pressure was obviously high, and there were 2 more plus signs in the urine test. This was a sign of gestational hypertension. During the ultrasound, the obstetrician said that the child's weight was estimated to be between 7.5 to 8.5 pounds. With such a heavy weight, if it was smooth, it would be much more difficult. Because the pregnant woman was thin and small, she was petite and exquisite. She was about to give birth, but she was less than 60 kilograms. Huamin was really worried. Last night, the pregnant woman's cervix had been dilated by 2 fingers. She had been in labor pain, but she still couldn't give birth. The pregnant woman's mother kept crying and tried to persuade her to have a C-section. It would be safer. However, the pregnant woman gritted her teeth and said no. If she had a C-section, her mother-in-law and husband would not be happy. She endured for an entire night, but in the morning, she still didn't give birth. The pregnant woman was in so much pain that her face was pale, and she was sweating profusely. Huamin's heart ached when he saw this. "Huamin, let's get off work. I'll take care of this pregnant woman," said the young nurse who took over the shift. "Lin, keep an eye on her. If there's any danger, immediately tell Dr. Wu to help her deliver the baby. Her situation is very complicated, so don't delay it." "Don't worry, I know." Huamin got off work worriedly. However, as soon as she walked out of the hospital, she heard the sound of a car horn. She immediately looked up and saw that Qin Chu had gotten into that low-key white CC again. "Why you here?" Huamin was a little surprised. He said he would meet her at home, but he came to the hospital to wait for her. Chapter 125. It's on the way. Qin Chu glanced at Huamin and said. Huamin didn't say anything else. She opened the door and got into the car. After a night of exhaustion, she was mentally and physically exhausted, so after getting into the car, she closed her eyes and rested. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he turned on the music in the car. A melodious sound came from the car. It was a song by Shui Munyan. "I woke up crying because I dreamed of you leaving. I watched the night wind blow through the window. Could you feel my love? When I grow old, would you still be by my side? I watched the lies and vows slowly drift away with the past. So many people admired your face when you were young. But who was willing to endure the merciless changes of time? So many people came and went in your life. But I'll always be by your side." Huamin was going to sleep, but after hearing this song, she woke up. Although she was born in the 90s, she didn't chase after celebrities. She just liked listening to old songs, especially those that were popular in high school. Previously, she had a USB drive with many of her favorite songs downloaded from it. Later, when she moved in a hurry, Qin Chu didn't let her bring anything, so she lost it. Now that she thought about it, it was quite regretful. She remembered that the first song on the USB drive was Shui Munyan's My Life With You. She didn't think that she would be able to hear it in Qin Chu's car. It was quite a surprise. But when she heard that the next song was Lu Ruoying's When Love Is Near, Huamin couldn't stay calm. She opened her eyes and asked, "The order of your songs is the same as mine. What a coincidence." This USB flash drive was found in the old house you used to live in. Hearing Qin Chu's words, Huamin was shocked again. "So, you took my USB drive and didn't tell me? And you didn't even tell me. Do you know how rude you are?" Huamin was a little angry. "I'm using my own things. How can you call that rude?" Qin Chu quibbled. "Please, this is mine, okay?" Huamin argued. "We're husband and wife. All our assets are shared. What's yours is mine," Qin Chu announced domineeringly. Huamin held his breath and retorted, "So that means I own half of GK Corporation. I'm sitting at home now, so I'm a billionaire." "That's right," Qin Chu replied lightly. He didn't care about property at all. Therefore, he did not do any premarital property notarization at all. Especially for Huamin, he was willing to give anything. Seeing how easily Qin Chu answered, Huamin didn't have the heart to continue arguing with him. He just sighed slightly. "Qin Chu, don't let GK's employees work night shifts. Who in the office would stay up all night? That's nonsense. You called me here to talk about this? Qin Chu raised his eyebrows, clearly unhappy. Yeah, I accidentally heard about it when I was eating in the cafeteria. There are so many people in GK. Do you know how many people your decision will affect? I don't want that. You're not a child, so you can't be so willful. Hurry up and change the time. Sure. Seeing how easily Qin Chu answered, Huamin wondered why he was so easygoing. Then, he added, unless you kiss me. Come on, they're your employees. What does that have to do with me? Huamin was speechless. It's true that GK's employees are my employees, but I'm your husband. If you make me happy, I'll change their time. Seeing how shameless Qin Chu was, Huamin had no choice but to quickly kiss him on the cheek. Okay, hurry up and call everyone to change their shifts. I didn't ask you to kiss my cheek. Why did you have to act on your own? Qin Chu looked at Huamin in confusion. Chu, you bastard. Huamin gritted his teeth and glared at him. Let's do it again. This time, you have to kiss my cheek, Qin Chu ordered domineeringly. Chapter 126. Qin Chu, don't push me too far, Huamin warned with a frown. What? Are you embarrassed? It's okay, I'm not embarrassed. Before Huamin could say anything, Qin Chu slammed on the brakes and stopped the car on the side of the road. Then he pushed Huamin down. Qin Chu was very aggressive with this kiss. Huamin almost couldn't breathe. After some time, someone knocked on the car window. Qin Chu opened the window impatiently and saw a traffic policeman standing beside the car with a ticket in his hand. Parking is not allowed here. You will be fined 200 yuan. Who knew that Qin Chu would take out a few hundred yuan bills from the car and hand it to him? Here, keep driving. The traffic policeman didn't know what to do with the money. Were all rich people so willful? They let the traffic policeman write the ticket, and then they would have sex in the car? Qin Chu, get up. You're suffocating me. Huamin pushed him away with all her strength. Huh? Next time you're on top? Shameless. Huamin got up with a red face and quickly tidied up her messy hair. Qin Chu elegantly wiped the corner of his mouth, then started the car and drove away. The traffic policeman was left alone in the wind with the bills in his hand. Qin Chu finally drove to a seafood restaurant. He knew that Huamin was a seafood lover, so he specially came to this restaurant. 7 years ago, they had often eaten seafood together. However, Huamin didn't know that Qin Chu actually had a sensitive stomach. Eating seafood could cause enteritis. But even so, he still ate with her without saying a word. The two of them ordered a table full of food, all of which were Huamin's favorites. Isn't this a bit too extravagant? Huamin sighed. Eat, you don't have to pay this time. Qin Chu's mouth twitched. That's not what I meant. I just think it's a waste not to finish it. Then finish it? Are you really? Huamin felt that sometimes he really couldn't communicate with Qin Chu. Who knew what kind of nonsense was in this guy's head? Sometimes, his answers were so infuriating. This seafood restaurant was very famous in Sea City, and the environment was also very high-end. A meal would cost at least tens of thousands of yuan, so there were not many people there. Most of them were rich people. Huamin did not expect to meet Wuxia in this place. It was truly a small world. Hi, little sister Mion. He always greeted her with a smile. Wuxia was hugging a girl with a hot body and big breasts. Obviously, she was not the one he met at the hospital last time. As for Wuxia's private life, Huamin knew that Huamin was very indecent. He often changed female partners and often appeared in the entertainment headlines. The paparazzi were going to dig up the so-called 4 princes of the nation. Wuxia also did not expect to meet Huamin here. Most importantly, the person beside Huamin was Qin Chu. I didn't expect to see you two together again. Wuxia smiled. Qin Chu did not even raise his head. He only replied coldly, you should be glad that you can see this in your lifetime. What a surprise. Are you guys rekindling your old flame? Wuxia's smile was a little complicated. Huamin raised his head and said impolitely, what does it have to do with you? As her brother, I naturally have to care about my sister's marriage. I've been preparing for Dad's birthday party. You'll come, right? Are you kidding me? What does it have to do with me? You're so heartless. Dad will be disappointed. He won't. Hua Yanyan is enough for him. He won't care if I'm heartless or not. After we met last time, Dad asked me a lot about you. I can tell that he really wants you to come back. That's impossible. He won't even think about it, Hua Min said firmly. It seems like you don't want to come back to the Hua family now that you have someone to rely on. But Mian, are you sure that Qin Chu can protect you for the rest of your life? He won't abandon you and run away from the country like 7 years ago? Hua Xichen smiled strangely. Upon hearing this, Qin Chu and Hua Min's expressions changed at the same time. Chapter 127. Hua Min threw her lobster fork onto the table with a clang. She stood up and said, "What right do you have to tell me what to do?" "Oh, look, my dearest little sister is angry. She's so charming when she's angry." Hua Min was very angry and wanted to say more, but Qin Chu grabbed her waist and said, "Mian, let's go." Hua Min was still angry when they walked out of the restaurant. "Why did you pull me away? I should have taught him a lesson. Listen to me, avoid him from now on. Don't get close to him, he's very complicated." Qin Chu had always thought of Hua Xichen as a very dangerous person, so he didn't allow Hua Min to get close to her. The truth was Hua Min had always been avoiding him, but he was always there. 7 years ago, he was still like this 7 years later. "Young Master Hua, who was that woman?" "She's my little sister." Hua Xichen smiled. "Don't you only have one sister, Yin?" The woman was a bit surprised as she looked at Hua Xichen. "Yeah, she's also my little sister, my dearest little sister." Hua Xichen smiled. Because of Hua Xichen's interference, the seafood feast was ruined. What a pity. We paid for the food but we didn't eat it. What a pity. Hua Min pouted in the car. I told them to pack it up and send it home. Upon hearing this, Hua Min immediately gave her a thumbs up. "That's smart. This seems to be the first time you've complimented me like this, and it's for food. Should I be happy or should I be?" Qin Chu looked at her faintly. Hua Min coughed dryly and didn't say anything. After they drove back to Imperial Park, it wasn't long before the restaurant came to deliver their food. Pack up everything they ordered and bring it back. Then, the two of them began to eat happily. During dinner, Qin Chu casually asked, "Hua Zhenghai wants you to go back to the Hua family?" Hua Min nodded. "When Grandma passed away, he asked me about it, but I rejected him. Think about it, he didn't care about me for so many years. Now that I'm all grown up, he came to find me. Don't you think it's funny?" "He might have a reason for looking for you," Qin Chu analyzed. "Of course, I'm guessing it's about the inheritance rights. Right now, the whole corporation is in the hands of Hua Xichen. Even though he's only the vice president, I heard that Hua Zhenghai has been stripped of his position and can no longer control his eldest son. Over the past few years, Jiang Hong and her adopted son have been secretly infiltrating the corporation, winning over people's hearts and bribing the board of directors. It's only a matter of time before they get rid of Xinjiani and her children. Hua Zhenghai probably saw this coming, so he planned to use me to go back and rightfully give me some shares. Then he'll give them to Xinjiani, which will be enough to protect them from being kicked out of the board of directors. I thought you didn't pay attention to these things. I didn't expect you to investigate so thoroughly." Qin Chu always knew that Hua Min was shockingly smart, so he wasn't surprised when she acted this way. "I don't need to investigate this. I can tell just by looking at the financial news. It's only a matter of time before the Hua family's inheritance fight happens. Even biological brothers will fight, not to mention that they're not even born from the same mother. Hua Xichen is adopted, so if he inherits the power, Hua Zhenghai won't be satisfied. Hua Si is his biological son, but he's too cowardly. I think this is his karma. Now that he wants to use me to protect his second wife, there's no way. I'm not an easy person to deal with." Qin Chu nodded, agreeing with Hua Min. "The Hua Corporation's money isn't that attractive, but if you want, I can buy it over at any time," Qin Chu said casually. Hua Min shook her head. "No need, I'm not interested in the Hua Corporation at all." The two chatted as they ate. After Huamin finished cleaning up and was about to go upstairs, she noticed that Qin Chu's face was pale and weak. "What's wrong? You don't look good," she asked worriedly. "You're tuning into the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.